and Dora. I'll probably mention this a few more times today, but poor Dora, I had to have a plumber over. Dora hasn't seen many people in the last year or so, so she has freaked out. So she's now asleep. Down behind my... You can't even see her. This is how well she's hidden. Say hi, Dora. Yeah, so she's not in her pride of place. Normally she sits up there. But she hasn't. So she's hiding. So I am... Oh, this bloody game. It's running at enormous resolutions. And now it's resized my... What on earth? See, now I've... Ugh. Well, I can't see Discord. Right, I'm going to leave it there a second. I'll be back in just a moment.
Back?
I am back. Back. Right, who am I joining and why am I joining them?
Right now I'm just in the random lobby. I'm probably going to join Adam's lobby in a sec though.
Yeah, my pad has no lights on it again. It's a wired pad and I keep having to unplug it and plug it back in. It's like the pad crashes. Oh, there you go. So I can have... Oh, Dora, what are you doing up there? Are you going to stay up there? That's fine. Show the internet your bum hole. That's a good kitty. Good kitty.
Oh, kitty cat.
That's
Yeah. You can stay up there if you like. That would be particularly cattish of you. Oh, no, I mean, definitely get off. Get off right now, Dora. Get off. Damn it, work. Quite often, the moment you tell Dora not to do something, she's like, I think I will. Oh, my God, what's wrong with the camera? Why is the camera so... Anyway, I was just saying, I don't know what colours I have on my controller. We have red, green, blue, purple. Quite like the yellow. The yellow is actually nicer than you might think. Kind of a... There we go, cyan. I quite like the controller. It's actually quite good. It's just, it keeps crashing. How do I... Is the camera really this close behind my character? Have I just done something?
I just casually got 30,000 coins from something. Fine.
It's just on the tutorial stuff, just the idea of few times.
Evidently.
So it could be that.
Still think it's quite weird the game has gone with a... So, Garden Warfare 2, you could grind just one character's set of stuff, and there was still an enormous amount to get. And here, they've got a lot less stuff, but I have to sort of randomly get stuff for things I don't want.
Oh, you mean the cosmetics? Or...
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit strange.
Yeah, I
Okay,
can see that.
use the Rewardotron 10,000. Okay, so how do I change? Oh, is it the changing booth by any chance? That lets me change.
That lets
Yeah.
you change
It
stuff,
is.
yeah.
You can also change the team on it
What
as
did I get
well.
for the Rewardotron? Something I didn't want. Hooray!
Character locked?
Oh, there's like a DLC character, I think.
That's not.
I really don't have it either. It's fine. Not many people do.
The Thistle Head and the TV Head.
And the wizard, I think. Right?
Doc
yeah.
is in our group, by the way, but you're not.
Yeah, I'm currently on a loading screen.
If I remember correctly, Chomper was pretty OP last time. It makes traps. 2, he goes underground.
So the chomper is very good. So the chomp from underground is pretty much a one-shot. But once you eat someone, you then have to chew on them, and you chew for quite a long time, and you can't fight back, and you can't jump, and you can't move quickly. So it's great for knocking off one person, but they have to be alone.
So it's a assassin character essentially.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, but you can't like. Well, it's not like what's his name, Izo. You can't just run around going murder you, murder you. Once you've knocked out one guy, you need to leg it out of there, and ideally only take out one person at a time.
I'm not loading screen. There we go.
Ah, so there's a Widowmaker character. Okay.
What, a sniper?
Yeah, with longer you zoomed in, the lot more damage it does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both teams have characters that are basically the same.
I don't know what the zombie equivalent of the chomper is.
This boy, what's he
I don't
do?
know actually.
Poison
Me.
cloud?
And I should do, because I played this game for...
I mean, I'd imagine it's the same one, the one
Billion
with the same
hours.
slot on the character screen, right? Check the. I don't know if you'll appear on my thing where you might need to invite me.
Not really. I mean, you don't really have an equivalent to the Super Brains. Or the Electric Slide. Or the 80s
Is there a way to
action,
just
really.
see the abilities of things rather than actually having to use them?
Well,
Oh yeah, when you're in
pause it.
character select. Oh yeah, I was too. Yeah, when
Oh,
you're in
G for character details. I see.
Yeah, there's a character details button. Yeah, could you invite me? So I can't see you on my friends list again. It's doing that thing.
Well, join
I don't know why
Doc.
it does this.
He's in my game.
Actually, I might be able to. Although, will that put me in the party, or will that
Well,
just?
I don't know. Let's find out. I am making notes, by the way, for my game. A lot of these games, there are way too many barriers into play with my friends.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, I can't look at Discord because this game's running at a silly-ass resolution. So,
Both pairs offline. That's interesting.
So we're... Oh, wait, hold on a minute. We can't show your friends at the minute, it says Xbox.
Just no one's online on my friends list somehow. What?
Yeah, I don't have anyone on my friends list either.
How do I join you then?
Well, Doc, did you join me directly, or was it just coincidence?
I joined you through the game.
Oh, wait, hold on. That's the Steam. Sorry. Try... Yeah, join through the game. I was using the Xbox overlay, which obviously isn't going to work ever, is it?
No, I'm trying in game, but it says you're offline in game as well.
So I don't know what this is, by the way. The character challenges. The time challenges are fine. Open a boss chest. Yeah, might be a bit tricky today. Win up to support class role. That's going to be tricky. And vanquish heroes to Citron. That one's easy. I might start with that one. But I don't see what these are. I get a key every week. And then it says character challenge reward are only available within the current prize map. I don't know when that is. But one of them is Space Cadet, which I did kind of enjoy. The thing is, I really do play support classes generally in this game. But I will go with the Citron for a bit, just so I can get my challenge.
Yeah, I don't know how to join you.
Pause it. Friends. If you pause it and hit friends, I can see you.
Yeah, but it says you're offline.
In game. In game.
Yeah, in game.
No.
Oh, yeah, I got the invite though. This is so dumb.
Yeah, no, I don't mean to blame you, but it's your fault. Oh, wow, God, you can't actually do kind of need to blame me.
Well, usually it's just you though. This time it's not showing Reese either.
Oh, yes, usually it's just me. Okay, I'm ready to defeat 15 heroes with my...
Yeah, I'm currently joining. I don't know if it'll drag me through or not.
And there's a Max.
Hello.
Hey up. So this game suffers from the same issue that VR Dino Duo suffers from. Everything looks delicious. Well, they've actually got subsurface scattering on stuff. So I mentioned this in Red Dead, where you got like a light behind someone's ears, and you see the back of their ears lit up. So this orange has subsurface scattering, because obviously oranges do. But as soon as Max has joined us, I'll just head into whatever turns up. Malcolm will not be joining us as he's all Destiny Season 2.
Ah.
Oh, his reload's like a juicer. What does we do a garden ops while we wait for people to come on, because we do have challenges in garden ops for today.
Where do you see the challenges?
Join my friends. Ah, friends.
I see another friend online. Oops, no, not view profile. No!
Is it explore the challenges? Yeah, okay.
Invite to group.
I'm trying to join you as well. So I wonder what happens if this happens. Join me, I'm joining you, okay?
Okay, putting us into a gardens and graveyards.
Oh no, you're already in the game session. Right, good. Good.
Don't
Makes
you?
sense.
Why even tell you going? You're already in the session. Just go, yeah, it's working.
Done it.
And one
Thanks,
person.
you're done.
I wish it told me who hasn't hit.
How do I join the playlist?
Hold left.
Oh,
right.
hold right arrow. That's a weird way
Yeah,
of joining
I made
the
this
playlist.
mistake. I made this mistake the first time as well. I thought you just had to press it once.
Yeah, there's a
Also-
few buttons like that.
Yeah, it's also kind of odd that it's arrow keys.
It is. It's so you
Yeah.
can run. You
It's
can
not used for
ignore it.
anything else.
That's why you could. Well, that's why. So you could ignore it for 30 seconds while you're finishing something off.
I guess.
Finding the bet. We're going in a pure versus AI mode. Just so what this actually means is spinning you up a server.
Very slowly.
Well, this is the thing about games like this. After a while, they start to cost money to run, so you start using a cheaper tier on, on Amazon or whatever.
You always blame it on yourself and your own hardware.
In this case, no, I can't.
Oh no, you can't, but you have to know that's a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, why wasn't it loading during the finding the best match screen? See, that's what annoys me about the way games are. To be fair, the loading of this game is pretty instant because my NVMe and all
Is
that.
it?
But yeah, I mean, maybe
No.
2
Is it?
seconds. Maybe 2 seconds.
We're
Oh,
zombies.
it's a solid.
We
it's
are
a solid
zombies,
20.
yeah.
Okay. Does it matter what I go as?
You have to be as well. Oh, no, I'm going healer. This is pretty much though DPS, so pick DPSing.
Well, I'm gonna try
Pick
the
what?
the space lady. Come on, game loads. You can do it.
Wow, really? Seriously, I'm not joking. 1 to 2 seconds on that loading screen.
Spinning disc.
Yeah, I'm not joking. 20 to 30 seconds.
Spinning disc.
Come on, Brett. Even my potato
My
PC
PC's not
can do
even
that.
that bad though.
Well, apparently it is.
Yeah.
My PC's not that
Yeah.
bad, he says, sitting in the loading screen still, and we've already started the level.
But with
Yeah.
bot. Oh, I'm gonna leave that to people who know what they're doing.
Build a bot.
Yeah, now in Garden Warfare, bots are paid for with premium
Flowers.
currency. Yeah, but they don't
Oh,
seem
yeah,
to be
yeah.
in this. Henry, so during the Fortress Craft Minecraft era, some people really didn't like Fortress Craft, and I'm pretty sure someone wrote a script to do a thumbs down on every video I ever do.
Amazing.
And I reckon they've still got it running.
Isn't that a good thing for you though? Because it gives you more viewers. Thumbs down.
Yeah, this is the funny thing. It still counts as audience interaction.
Yeah.
So it's not entirely bad. This is just a good excuse for me to level up my
Hadouken.
healer. Yes, audience interaction is very important. According to Unity, according
Not on
to,
point. Not on point. Got him.
Really?
Last time we failed this, didn't we?
Oh, really, XP? Why would you do that? I'm just playing Plants vs Zombies. Thank you. Why did I should get a notification, and I think I've broken it.
What? Did someone subscribe or something?
He apparently donated me some money, so thank you.
Oh.
I assume it's not because I'm playing Plant vs Zombies. I assume this is because you're excited about. Quick, someone else donate me money. See if I fixed it. I've got it. I've worked it out. If you guys have ever come across sub trains, hype trains, donate trains, you'll understand that's a thing in some streamers. Now, I know people who've literally received thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars because people just keep subscribing. Hopefully you appear on the list. Hopefully that works. It should work. I usually disable it because no one ever uses it, and it does make the highlight clips look less good. But I didn't want the scroller. So if people follow me and stuff or do a donation, I should get a notification. At some point I spend some time on it, but I'm not really a streamer, so I don't spend as much time on it as I would like.
This laser beam's insane.
Yes, but only fires downwards.
Yeah, but against these it doesn't matter because they're not smart.
But yeah, please do like the streams. Just on YouTube, also there's no equivalent in Twitch, but it really does help us get recommended. And I have no idea. I can probably check and see if we get recommended to people and why and what and things. So yes, I did enjoy that game last night. Among Us, I don't think would work amongst a group of friends because you'd very quickly work out people's typing style. Whereas talking, they designed the game around knowing who the real person is at any point, which I thought was quite good. So I did enjoy that last night.
Well, they did that in Among Us as well. There's voice in Among Us as well.
Yeah, but you don't. I've never seen anyone use a voice. I mean, it's not.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen
never.
voice.
No, I thought it was. Are you sure you're not just watching videos? People are just. You're not supposed to be able to chat during the.
Oh, not during, no. But every time there's a death, there's you have to talk to each other and say what you were doing and defend your. Oh, I saw so and so doing this. Oh, well, I was there doing the task bit. Oh, right, well, I was there doing this. You know.
I done did that.
No, you haven't. I've never ever seen anyone talk during that.
I think there's like a Discord plugin or something that allows people to do like proximity chat in the game. So I've seen people use that.
Ah, that might be it. Yeah.
I've no idea what my weapons do.
So your rocket launcher is a one-shot kill. That's
right.
The one on the right, and then your other one's a rocket jump. If you pause it does tell you what your three skills are. I forgot what the third skill is. So you got rocket jump, rocket launcher, and man, my shotgun is so awful.
Oh, remembering to put the turrets back up.
So they don't. So
Between waves?
in Garden Warfare 2, those spent premium currency that you had to pay money for. Do they not do that now?
No, they're just free.
Or you're just spending your currency without realizing it.
Correct.
It doesn't seem because it costs currency. I don't know.
There's no indication of the currency it costs.
Oh yeah, I can see that I can see which bot I'm building, but it doesn't say I've only got X of the what.
Be serious? Okay.
You cannot be serious.
You've cat to be kidding me, right, meow?
That reminds me, Max, we had the plumber over today, and he scared the ever-living shit out of Dora just by existing in the same household. She's not had very many visitors, obviously, you know.
Yeah.
So she just freaked out. So she's just sneaked behind my desk, which she hasn't been in ages. So she's just hiding there. And he's like, I am brave, Father, but I'm just going to put you between me and anything in the outside world. So I'll have to, when I'm allowed to have visitors, I will they'll have to bribe her with treats so she understands that visitors are good things.
Is she a new cat then, is she?
Well, she's not that new. Well, new. She's young. She's 14 months now, I think. Golly, wow. Time has flown. But she's barely seen anyone. I mean, she's probably...
Honestly, same.
Well, people who've come to the house more than once in the last... Well, since I've had her, 3 people. It's my mate and his my nephew and his niece. My niece. Other than that, it's just been a plumber, electrician, guy come tell me how much the house is worth for a mortgage, blah, 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 blah. But there hasn't been...
Also
single visits, yeah, and not hanging around and scritching the cat either.
Switch.
Yeah, but she absolutely freaked out, like completely what is going on, and then just hid a lot.
There's one
He's
hiding.
doing pretty well this time, actually.
Well,
He says.
he says. Yeah, shut your face.
They're sending in their top plants.
Wah, wah. Oh man, so it's Wednesday tomorrow and there's no Expanse. What am I going to do? Oh,
I need to go do the dishes later on as well.
I'm not sure what that has to do with me not being able to watch The Expanse tomorrow, but okay.
No, because it's Tuesday today.
You only wash the dishes once a week.
Twice a week.
Ew.
And
Yeah,
we're going to
the rest of the family does it every other day, but you know.
Oh, okay, that's more. I was like, bruh.
Are we getting a random selection of low level? All right.
Oh god, that's a big pickle.
That's what she
I'm in a
said.
slight bit of a pickle.
Wait, you're in the pickle.
He's in a pickle.
I'm with Doc on the pickle.
We should defend
Oh
the
my
main
god,
point,
yeah, if you stay on the point, shout if you miss, we're not very far away, I can get back that quick later.
Okay.
I'm keeping Doc alive because he's incompetent.
Correct.
Fortunately, I have bugger all firepower. Pickle's down to half health.
Alright, well done, get up on the point.
I'll try spinning, that's a neat trick.
God.
Spin the planet, princess!
Oh my goodness sake, I can't work it. I have to rocket jump up to where I need to go. Come on. Bounce on the springy stuff.
Okay, pickle's down.
for goodness sake.
No, it was a dill. Oh, a dill pickle. Yeah.
Maybe it was you that was the deal.
Got it.
I don't see any other boss. Oh, another tree incoming.
There's a tree.
Tree and a zombie sunflower. Why don't you laser beam them from above, Brett? That's a
I'm
good
doing.
trick.
Oh.
Oh man, the graphics on this game is absolutely glorious. It's so detailed and well animated. Wildflowers down. Okay, here comes the squash. Possibly a pumpkin. Definitely some sort of tuber. Oh, this one hurts.
Tubers of potatoes.
Hadouken.
Hey, more bets. Why
Is he a pumpkin spice?
I never really followed the career of the Spice Girls, just their early stuff. When did that happen? Not dying is important, by the way.
Noted.
It was a squash. Told you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not a
did we
tuber,
do
though.
it?
Oh, we did it.
We did it, Reddit.
Is that a tuber? I don't really know.
No, tubes are potatoes. Things that grow underground.
Well, where do squashes grow?
Overground.
How do you know so much about vegetables?
Some special.
Fair enough.
He's gone back to his roots.
He wants to be one when he's older.
When I grow up, I want to be a squash.
Be a vegetable.
I want to be a vegetable.
So the next round will be zombies. No, it'll be plants, sorry. So I'm going to go to citron because I have a daily challenge to be a citron.
What, C4? Picasso?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you
One
don't.
car.
That's a citron. It's a different word. Citron.
Citron.
Is citron.
Same.
Building the gardenator. Now remember, we don't have a
How do I-
healer. Unless one of you is
how
a
do I
healer,
choose-
we aren't a healer.
How do I choose the plant I want to be again?
Well, you already have. You're the ninja
Oh.
mushroom.
Right.
You're a
So you can't
one-shot. You're a
unchoose it.
one-shot ninja mushroom with melee skills on a level with boss fights.
Oh yeah, no, that, but like it's I was.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
you
not
can't-
entirely melee skills.
Yeah, the
stuff.
his main attack's like a sort of ranged attack.
So are we going double? Wow, that looks double acorn, the double oak tree.
I don't know. I don't know if it's better or worse than 2 acorns separately or not.
I think the idea is that the acorn gets to heal the tree.
Right.
I think so. I think it's better, but obviously you can't cover as many locations. I wonder if I actually do damage with my roll skill.
It does, yeah.
Sweet.
I don't think it does. I don't know if it does that much, but
More than none. I kill the healer. There we go. Healer's down. Yeah, so I would have put a. I don't know if I can replace it. I would have put a healing plant back at base.
how difficult this would be with just 4 players like on one tree.
You can't cover many areas, so in the later
Yeah,
way, because one of the later
yeah.
ways you have to go off and kill the shield things. Thwarty pants. I don't know what that means, but okay. Hello, whoever just joined.
No, I'm only for talking.
You're only what?
I'm only for talking. Not playing this.
Ah.
Breaking the curse of wrong number of players.
Yes, I mean that was my biggest complaint about whatever it's called Among Them last night. Was the that it got to have between 5 and 8, and 4 isn't just that's slightly annoying. You can't have 4, and you can't have 9.
It's a pretty narrow range of correct number of players.
Yeah, well the thing is, it's one of those. If you can get 5 players, I mean, a game that requires more than 4 is very odd, and I'm not sure I would agree with that. Like 4 is a common number, so if the 4 of us always played as a squad, then again it goes, we need 5 players, is no good. Wasn't Destiny 3 as well, which is also weird.
Destiny was 3, yeah.
Yeah, but this is not a sensible number of players because squads from other games won't be able to come and play.
Yeah, but social detection games are or the social games tend to be like that. That they have pretty high minimum number because their content is the other players.
Yeah. I mean, some rebalancing.
Interesting, I can overheal.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
nut overheals the acorn tree.
Oh,
The
okay.
nut overheals the acorn tree. So you know everything about vegetables and nothing about trees, apparently.
I wonder if the overheal increases
Yoke.
per nut.
The oak, obviously.
Yeah, that's a sentence, isn't
The
it?
acorn. Is it? Are acorns nuts? I don't know what a nut is.
seed.
That's a good
Yeah, but
question.
are all seeds nuts, or are they only hard shell seeds? Like, what's the?
Oh, this is very spawn killy, doesn't it?
Okay. Yes, he's running away from us. Doc, go punch him.
I'm going.
Yes, he's ignoring me and just dancing.
A nut is a fruit composed of an inedible hard shell and a seed.
Oh,
So it's a seed with a hard shell as a nut.
I'm actually in a
Okay.
running, and I hate
So
it.
so it's
inedible
anything that
might
comes
be
from a
important
tree that
there.
would... Yeah, okay.
It's
The
not
seed
anything.
can be edible, but
Defend the
the
point,
shell
defend the
can.
point.
Well, anything that has a seed in it, essentially, that can be hard, right?
I have a seed in me, I can be hard.
I guess that means a coconut is a nut, right?
I
Well,
think.
it was in the name there.
I think.
Yeah, it is in the name, but it's,
Quite
it's
specific.
not something
Though.
you traditionally think of as a nut, though,
It
right?
doesn't have a seed inside, does it? It's liquid inside, isn't it?
I
Well, it
think
is the seed, though, isn't it?
quite importantly, Matt, just because you had a
That's it.
peanut butter sandwich earlier does not mean you have a nut inside you.
No,
A seed.
but I
Seed.
have seeds. That's quite colloquially the human reproductive system, often known as.
I
Planting
don't
seeds.
know. I don't. Oh well, sowing.
Seed
But
man.
yes, I guess so. But in that case, I think that's seed and not seeds.
Yeah, singular. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why. I think that's probably a Greek thing or something.
What is this conversation?
What? Have you never heard of the set that? And he planted his seed within her, and
Yes,
she,
I have,
she got
yeah.
knocked up. Yeah. But you would never
Yeah,
say he planted a whole bunch of his seeds within her because that makes it sound like some sort of weird gardening misfortune.
Oh shit, sorry. Oh wait, I can put that in her mine, can't I?
I'm hoping these count as heroes. I think they do. I need to kill 15 heroes for my daily. Challenge.
They might not for
They-
challenges.
They should do. The small ones don't. The big ones do. So this whatever it's called,
Oh shit.
superhero will. Also, you're so wrong. The dash does tons of damage.
There's a path hit?
Here. Oh, that's a big boy.
That's what she said.
No, it's not.
That's 6 inches, right?
Is that not what she said, Brett? I'm sorry about that.
No.
Okay, I'm low on health.
I always say that character, I always take the health regen stuff, and then you can just shield and get your health back super quick.
I don't have a shield.
What on the great big green orange dude?
Yeah, I don't. I've seen it. Maybe I have to spec it or something.
No, right click. There's your shield.
Do you mean your left skill, your middle skill, or your right skill?
Right.
No, if you right-click, you might
Oh, you
just-
put it on controller.
Right. Oh, right. Okay, my ADS is a shield. Okay.
Yeah. So and you can see like your regen bar above your health is how long it takes for you to not take damage to regen. So if you have all the regen upgrades
yeah.
on that character, you can just shield and get your regen.
I do
super
have
quick.
all the regen upgrades, yes.
Yeah.
I'm also going to make a healing plant, which is
The sunflower.
sunflower.
Yeah, my sunflower.
Do, 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 do.
Yeah,
I thought that the shield was a pretty big part of the tank class.
I forgot.
I guess there's the health pool that does something.
Well, look at Brett's health pool, and then... Yeah, how big's my health
at
pool
mine.
compared to you guys? Because Brett and Max have got... sorry, Max and Doc have got 3.
I got 75.
No, in top left, you can see how many bars you've got. Each one's 25. Now look
25.
at- yeah, but
you
look
have
how-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh,
6, 7, 8. You have 8.
I got 200.
I
Brett
I
has.
currently have 320 health at
Yeah.
the moment.
I'll fix that. Have some more.
Oh,
I'll fix that.
that's boosted, yeah.
Okay, going for the whatever the fuck this is, Dr. Hat or something.
Whatever he is, he's annoying and I wish him dead.
Dr. Summony Hat.
Ow. Okay, that hurts. Run away. Oh, there's a Yeti! There's a Yeti already!
Yep, just aim for Dr. Summony Hat. A half-dead mob does the same amount of damage as a wholly alive mob. Damn it, I can't see Dr. fucking Summon Hat. Also, bear in mind, Doc, you have so little health, yeah.
Yeah, I am fully aware.
Okay, one down. Dr. Summon Hat to like 25%.
He's dead.
Now he's dead. Now we got the brain, the funky dude.
Electric Slide. In the original Plant vs. Zombies, this was Michael Jackson until the Michael Jackson estate sued. So it's Michael Jackson when they threw it out, but they literally sued him. So they had to patch him out to the just a zombie disco character.
Yeah.
Is that and paying money, or and not paying money?
No, they patched him out because they got a cease and desist for using the Michael Jackson license. I've got the original.
Have an
stuff.
option
What I mean is, did they then have to pay this Michael Jackson thing some money, or do they have to not pay him some money because they would just patch it out so you don't have to?
I don't know. That's one of those that if you have bought the character to distribute or defamed them, then you can. If you simply use them and you continue using it, well, all you have to say it's a coincidence, and they say no, it isn't. Well, they're like, well, we're not going to argue. We're just going to take it out. You wouldn't admit it was Michael Jackson. It was blatantly Michael Jackson, though.
Got the ninja.
So they were enforced. They could have like forwarded it, but they didn't.
They didn't. No.
I am very surprised they didn't make like a ninja pirate zombie and call it Ninja.
Okay then.
Yeah, that's the... Yeah, hashtag tumbleweed.
Your team wins.
My team always
Yeah.
wins.
Do we have more than 4 people now? Should we switch to
We did
I'm
it.
playing.
Yeah, well, we did Garden Ops, which is limited to 4.
should we switch to a normal lobby then?
Yes. Oh man, I got
Okay, so-
7 heroes as a citron.
Open a boss
Nice.
chest. What the hell's a boss chest? Was
I assumed we were going to
chest
get
that spawns the
one.
boss?
I assumed we were going to get one. We just killed a bunch of bosses, but don't know.
I guess only the really big ones count or something.
But we
Oh, am I
got.
still in lobby?
It's just me and Mister. It's just me and Henry. What I'll do is Henry and I
What?
will. Actually, hold on. Don't join Henry. I need to. I was an idiot.
No. Take me.
Apparently I didn't accidentally get you part fast enough.
No, I'm just. I accidentally. I hit the dash button. And I actually dashed into the join a multiplayer level, but I haven't chosen which level yet.
Ah.
I'll pick the one with the biggest number of people, so we have more chance that we can all bundle in. And worst case scenario, we bundle in. We're on a different team. No.
It is what it
cancel.
is.
Thank you. Right. So I'm going to do Turf Takeover as 24 player. Like this is our best bet.
Friends, I have friends.
There we go. If everyone accepts the playlist, and if you're not in my team, just join me from the menu.
I've
Oh, yeah,
got
true.
no options to press any buttons. Well, I can press buttons, but they're not doing anything.
I'm currently in the loading screen, so I may.
Why is it
No.
constantly tabbing me out? Why is...
Reach behind your head and use the left grip.
You heard
Launching
them, huh?
activity anyway.
Okay, I guess I'm in it.
Now let's see if we're going to join in at the beginning of this or right at the end. Wait. Oh my gosh, we actually got an intro cutscene. It. My goodness me, it started up a server for us.
Still trying to enter Giddy Park.
Oof. That is in fact a French egg.
In fact, we have got... There's plenty of spots you guys should be able to join.
Alright, I'm in.
Oh god. Okay, if you see Live to Love 00, just kill them on the basis of their username.
I might need an invite because everyone's still apparently is offline for me.
Not sure if I can.
Oh, I'm on the opposite team. Rip.
Oh, you can. Yeah, I'm doing.
I'm not sure how I've just invited because there's no room in my party. But I hit invite anyway.
You can switch teams at any point, Reese.
Cool.
You just from the character select screen.
I've selected a Citron just because I want to do my daily challenge of kill people as a Citron. Oh my god, what the hell is chicken?
Sometimes talking about the car, it's like, yeah, I'm going to run people over today. In my Citron.
Kobe. Oh. Arcus,
No, wait.
What?
Marcus, yes.
Why won't you die?
You haven't even hit me yet.
With
I
the
have.
slobber shot. Wow, that thing's got a shot. on it.
I jumped off the wrong place.
Come a bit closer. Then maybe you'll hit something.
I have no idea, don't I?
Thank you, Double Fizz. That means double fizz in some language.
Funglish.
Fronglish.
Hasta double.
Yeah?
Oh, I got a muncher on me.
That's what she said.
Are you guys on plants or zombies?
I am a plant.
Zombles.
Okay.
Ah!
Am I in the wrong spot to get revived?
Oh, what the places?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a freaking live to love. Sorry, couldn't kill him.
Live, laugh,
Just,
love.
just with that nickname.
Kill them now. Zerg him.
Zerg him.
Yeah, definitely.
I did see someone. It was a casket you can buy, and the inside of the casket it says "Love, lived, loved, laughed." And the thing was, I'd rather be cremated than have this. I actually have one of those on my wall because I rent this house, and it goes, what was it? Always kiss me before you say goodnight, or something. So it's written on my wall.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not.
I didn't realise that the log attack that you throw as the tree makes it like a bowling alley sound when it lands.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
Terrible.
What was it? I watched a film with a bowling alley sound, and quite was it? Is it the Phantom Menace? Maybe. It's quite.
Where would that
It might well be actually.
And when
Yeah,
a
I
bunch
think
of
I know what you're
robots
about.
get knocked over.
Yeah, by the blue spheres. Yeah.
I don't remember this. It's been a while since I've watched that film.
I'm sure if you
actually.
Google inappropriate bowling alley sounds, you'll get something. It's probably an entire Tumblr thread. Just do inappropriate bowling alley sounds.tumblr.com.
I haven't used Tumblr in ages either, actually.
My favourite Tumblr is people using QR codes.tumblr.com, and it just says there is no content here yet.
QR codes are a dead medium.
Well, they have seen.
Oh, that's not
They,
true.
no, there's not. They've seen a huge and massive growth recently.
So
Because
very
Yeah,
useful
they
in
have.
manufacturing, thank you very much.
yeah, oh yeah,
And they're
but
very useful for COVID testing as well.
well for the
someone's talking
NHS
about
track
their
and trace thing. That's where they.
Yeah.
That's the only place they have been widely used in the public arena. I mean, oh yeah, in manufacturing all over the place. I mean, that's what they were designed
live
for.
to love
But
dead.
Yeah, I mean, you can put one back in business cards.
yes, you can.
Ah, damn it.
Damn it, I don't ham.
Oh, that was Max.
Well, I wanted to double back on business card, but I actually did a prototype as well. But
What the hell?
yeah, we don't do that anymore, I suppose.
You can make very pretty QR codes as well. Like you can get quite arty, and
Yeah.
the error calculating algorithm is good enough to get around that.
Yeah.
I just feel sorry for the people who got stuff tattooed on QR.
Bugger off, Pete.
Actually, no, I don't, because it's funny. But
I mean, it's not as if they're unusable.
Well, it's if you lose the URL for wherever it
Yeah.
takes it to.
Oh, that's true. Well, I mean, what if you just made the URL like the
doesn't have
patch
to be
is
a
never
URL,
going to
does
give
it?
you up or something?
It doesn't have to be a URL, does it? It can be just a piece of information. So a
Oh, I
number.
can provide you from inside you. You can't see me.
That's awesome.
Oh, lovely.
okay, this guy is sort of...
The tiniest reviver. Did we win that one? I think we did.
I think you did.
Did we? Sounds like it.
Line.
I'm hearing like positive
guys
news
won.
though.
2.
Oh wow, we did. Okay.
Your team lost.
Yeah, the idea it
Correct.
expects the zombies to push backwards. Like you kind of it's kind of a tug of war. But quite frankly, we trashed them
Why did it say my team lost?
because you weren't on my team, Max.
I was on your team. I was playing zombies.
No, you weren't.
I
I
was a
killed you,
plant.
Max.
That's why it's so confusing.
It's llama time.
Llama, llama, llama.
Actually, that says lamer time.
Yeah, that's not how you spell lava, right? I was like,
Yeah, close enough. I get what he's going for.
It's a shame we earn so much more money in Garden Ops than in this mode. Oh, did I do my challenge? No, I got one
is
here.
it? I have no idea what a boss chest is.
I don't either. I thought we were... Well, yeah, okay, so I do actually. I think we get a boss chest if we kill a boss in Garden Ops. But we... You know, you get the roll, like the fruit machine roll. We got mini bosses rather than maxi bosses, I guess you would call them.
Right.
yeah, I think so.
Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to go plants once more because I'm on a daily mission. So you may have a moment to join. It will say, "Oh, you'll get less coins," but
Oh, no,
oh my
less currency.
god! On my team, there's someone called Crotchen, and they are rank 1,728.
What in the world?
No, on the game.
Is there any way to talk in this game? There isn't. You can
I
just.
think so.
Bloody hell.
Sometimes mine randomly turns on.
I just want
What
to say,
was
get a
that?
girlfriend, Crotchen.
Crotch and scratching.
Get a life, Jeff.
No, get a girlfriend, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, sorry. That was...
Wait, is it not camping out spawn? What?
Pomegranate.
Well, no, they can't. They're in their own.
Oh, this is not one of those maps. Okay, I thought this was the attack defense one for some reason.
But I have to get killing blows, not just assists. There's one. There's two. And I'm dead.
Aha! Got him!
Great, so you killed me, but I killed 3 on your team. Aren't you brilliant?
Yes!
Okay, maybe I should say that in a slightly different tone of voice. Brett, hide inside my corpse!
I'm not an acorn right now,
Is it possible
unfortunately.
to change sides while the match is going?
Yes.
How do we do that?
When you die, hit change character, then you can hit change teams. If it will let you.
We are
Sometimes
getting-
it won't.
Absolutely rickrolled.
Oh, they're just not.
No.
Now do it.
Oh, toss off.
My
Beat
fault
the
is
shadow.
What's the payload?
Acorn, save me.
What even is this? Is that
I don't know, but
Got the
no one res me, you fucks.
a pomegranate? Oh my god.
pomegranate.
Pomegranate,
God
yeah.
damn it. I hate
Wah,
it.
wah, wah.
Thanks, I hate it.
It's alright, Doc. When you get a little bit older, you will become to appreciate puns.
Oh no, I appreciate them, but the idea of a good pun is that you're supposed to hate it. The more disdain for the pun, the better.
Groan factor.
Or the worst.
God, I'm bad at this video game.
God, the animation's so good. Like, I'm just looking at the
Video
animation on
game.
the pomegranate. It is a video game.
I'm like enjoying all the different reload animations the characters have. They're just so dirty.
Video game.
Yeah.
The
I like
video game.
video games. Welcome to the 1980s.
But this is a video game because this is not a computer game because this is on console and PC. So it does fit.
That makes a video game.
Well, a video
It's
game.
on console.
No, a computer game would be on a computer. A video game could be on either. A console game is only on a
no-
computer. So
But they're all computers.
Where's the other team? What? No one's attacked us on the payload yet.
Oh my God, what was that?
You would have to be particularly wanting to be technically correct to argue that a console is a computer. It is a computer, I know, but it's not a
So it's
personal
my bloody
computer.
central heating system.
Yeah, but it's not a
That's a
personal
computer.
computer, which is what people generally mean.
Yes, a
touring
PC,
complete.
if you will.
Consoles these days are way more than the little crappy things they used to be.
Oh.
They are definitely computers.
Oh yeah,
Well,
well,
it's not
they've always been computers. That's
Yeah.
not a thing. But no one would ever call it a personal computer game because that just sounds rude. But that would be more correct.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing about consoles is they're not expandable in the way that the personal computer was designed to be. I.e.,
Well,
let me finish.
yeah, but I was gonna say, by that-
personal computer, you can put in add-on cards that do radically different things.
Can you into your
Yes.
laptop?
No, I don't use laptops.
Ah, there is a
No,
laptop
no.
that's fully modular.
There is,
But no,
and,
the
and
point
there are,
is
and there are
that they
consoles
are-
that are modular too. That's the point.
Yeah, but not
Yeah,
to the
the
point.
KFC console.
The point is that the USB has sort of
Goddamn
overcome that
KFC
thing now, hasn't it?
Yeah, but consoles are reasonably modular anyway. I mean, you've certainly
Yeah, but you
got.
can't go right. I want to put in a really old bit, a random piece of kit, write my own drivers for it. It's not going to happen. They won't let you do that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't do that anyway.
I can't go.
So that's.
Can I get my Kinect plug into Xbox? Yeah, but if you go, can I get? Oh, hello. Can I
Actually,
get? I don't know.
if-
Some.
actually,
The whole point of
you
PC is
could.
you can do random things.
You
with it,
could
know,
though,
you can
because
make
you
a
could. The
interface
Xbox runs UWP apps.
Like,
So
can I put drivers in for things? Like, don't
well,
you know?
you can
I make
talk
drivers
to,
for
you
things?
can talk to a USB port if you want to.
I can talk to a USB port, but I can't talk to an NVMe port. I can't talk to.
Well, it doesn't have any NVMe port. No, it does actually, but that has just got the SSD on it. But yeah, because the Xbox certainly runs UWP apps. It's one of their big things about it.
UWP apps.
Universal Windows Platform.
What, so that comes with drivers or something, does it?
What?
How do you give it drivers?
The drivers is just a piece of software to talk to a USB socket. That's all.
Or
Oh,
PCI
whatever.
Express socket? Or
Yeah, but you don't have PCI Express sockets, so that is
Ah, I see.
neither. Yeah, but they don't have them, so it's really neither here nor there.
Well, it is,
Neither
because
does,
the
but
PC
neither
has
does,
them.
neither does my laptops. You say you
It
can't.
does? You get micro PCI. PCI Express micro.
I've
doesn't
got one
Just
of
little
my
narrow
laptops.
things.
One of my laptops has got an external PCI Express socket. Only one.
it? Well, it's internal usually. It's like a card
Yeah.
you can slot in, isn't it? Of some sort. I don't know what they're used for, but
Well, I mean that's the successor to PCMCIA, but
yeah.
it's
So the
just
point is that
never
PC
used.
is personal computer because you can plug in unexpected things and write software for it and do all that. And usually, maybe Microsoft has been the exception here, but usually, i.e. Nintendo, lock out people from doing that sort of thing. You can't add your own software. You can't make your own thing that goes on our hardware.
Yeah, but I mean that's like it's like arguing between an Apple and Android because you can do that on one, not the other. That doesn't make them different things.
Yeah, but PC was where a lot of development work has been done.
But
to
on Apple, you can't go bugging about with stuff like that, and you can't
Yeah, but
argue
that's
that.
not a development platform, is it? The PC was the whole point. Of the PC was you could develop, for example, networking,
Yeah, my point is that's not a very good definition of
personal computer.
personal computer because laptops barely hit it and Macs barely hit it either, and they're definitely both PCs. And modern generation consoles, you can certainly do what you like with the storage. They've got a lot of storage upgrade potential, which also begins to blur the lines. But a computer game, video game, those are slightly different
You
than
damn
Gaga.
kids and them video games.
Yeah, I still don't understand what a video
Oh,
game.
I'm still alive. Oh.
I don't understand what video game. What we If I said, "Oh, I'm going to get this latest," I'd refer to it as a game, a video game.
Yeah, but what's
What
okay?
is the difference between a video game and a game?
Well, what's a board game then? Is that the same thing as a
Well,
video
that's
game?
No, that's obviously very different.
But
Being
that's
played while you're bored.
You've got game, which is the biggest, part of the Venn diagram, and then board game are certain things. Computer games are ones that run on a personal computer. Video games are generally ones that go on a console. It's a bit blurrier, but mostly it's
because I can play the same games on the PC. So,
Yes,
or
that's
in some cases Mac and Linux.
Yeah.
So where is that?
I mean, mostly if someone says video game, I just think that they're just old, basically.
Because I would say video games belong in the arcade.
Yes. Well, no, because they're
there's a
arcade
sort of
games,
inherent-
of course.
Yes, but there's an inherent. Well, okay.
Because video games were initially console games, but before we had the word console, like the 2600 was a video games console.
Yeah.
Because it was a console, as in a thing you could put stuff into and press buttons on that played video
It was
games.
very much fixed function, wasn't it? In terms of it played the games that were written for it only.
Oh well, that's
You
not.
can go. I'm gonna break out and I run a some other bit of software that I've written.
Well, you can do because I mean, the Vectrex was very big for that because people worked out how to upload their own stuff. I don't think fixed function's fair. You did get fixed function machines, but consoles.
The old consoles.
The largest majority of consoles let you put different games into them, so they're not fixed function. You can put different.
Well,
bits
yeah,
and
but they can only take games that are written for them.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you've got stuff like the
I'm not helping myself here, am I?
the ColecoVision, I think it was, where you could. It came with 4 games. It had a switch. You could switch between those 4 games. There are plenty of consoles that only played one game, and that's the one that was built into it. So those are what I would call fixed function, because you can't change what it does in any way, shape, or form.
Like those McDonald's toys that you got.
Happy Meals.
Yeah, you had Sonic toys that you got from Happy Meals that played video game, but was only one particular game.
I don't know what these are, so sure. Just like those, or not, depending.
Not like a calculator, but they just play one sort of like Donkey Kong game
Yeah.
Yeah.
on like an LCD screen.
Yeah, Game & Watch ones, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nintendo are just re-releasing Game & Watch games, and they're quite expensive. They look fantastic, and I'm like, I am not paying 40 quid for any of those. You've got to be joking.
Paying for nostalgia factor, basically, aren't you?
They weren't even that good back in the day. This is all we had. Yeah, something like Grand Sans Astro Invader would what I'd call a fixed function game. It might have had an A and a B game, or a Game & Watch. That's it. It can't do anything else. You can't pop a new game into it. I point out plants are on fire here, and I've been plants both times. Coincidence?
Pretty sure if plants are on fire, that's quite bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh look, I'm in the top thing. Damn, you love to live. Quick, how do I emote? Haha! Look at me emote.
How do you do that?
I hit the D-pad quite quickly, and then I jam some buttons.
Oh, press buttons until it works.
Mash that button. Are we exiting the Giddy Park?
Does someone need to?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't.
no, if you don't need to.
I don't know.
Just carry on
I don't know.
amassing.
The right side.
Amassing. Well, yeah, but that's just what you do at the beginning. You just pick the right side. I'm going to continue
I
being
can't
plants.
unpick my right side.
You can pick it now or in about 5 seconds. If
Or
it will let
30
you.
if you're me.
So I am
it's
on the
actually-
plant side. At the bottom, switch
Yeah.
teams.
Actually, it takes like 2 seconds to load when I... Oh, wait. You're plant side? Oh, yeah.
I am plant side.
Too many players on the opposing team.
See, I
But,
don't understand that. That's utter bollocks. On our team, we have Doblofids, fine. Rose, Cactus.
Maybe they try to balance it by number of actual players, because otherwise it would be too
Yeah, but
easy.
you've got 2 bots on your side. You got Space Cadet, Imp. Oh man, look at the water. Look at the sparkles in the water.
You've got Crutchin.
Yeah, you've got.
It's a
Croc.
bad rough approximation of water, is it?
It's nice. It's so pretty.
I'm not getting wet.
Do I
Well-
die if I go in the water? Yes.
What? Are you a
I quite
plant?
know.
Are you a plant or a zombie?
Plant.
Well, plants can drown. Zombies can't.
I love the zombie music.
Instead, that's just
So you're normally
canonically.
talking it, bro.
Canonically, plants can't, zombies can't drown, but I suspect they can in this game.
Otherwise, that'd be imbalanced as hell.
Well, also, you could leave the map, I think, is probably the real issue.
But yeah. My personal opinion is it's imbalanced.
But mostly, video games is quite an old. That's it. That's the phrase of a generation higher than me, older than me.
Older. Yeah.
You damn kids and your video games.
Because you could have had like, let's say, Double Dragon. Double Dragon was an arcade game that was ported and then became a computer game, and was also ported and was also a console game. And it was a video. So it's a video game, an arcade game, a computer game. It was all of them.
So it's not particularly referencing the game, but the hardware platform it's running on,
Yes.
which is the point I think I was trying to make.
Yes. Yes.
I
Mostly,
don't know
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
But if you said, "Are you playing video games?" I'd be like, "Yes, boomer." So, Brett, what are you?
Not lying.
Yeah.
We're Gen Z,
Oh.
not Gen Z.
I think we are actually.
Yeah, no, we are actually. Yeah.
No, Gen Z is like 1995 onwards, I believe.
Because my nephew's nickname is Zoomer, because that's the next one. Zoomers are the current.
They are.
That's the name of it.
What do they go after Z?
No, well, that's not how it works. There's no Gen Y.
What?
Yeah, they're just like names they came
Yeah.
up with for each
You've
generation.
got Boomer, Gen Z. Sorry, Boomers, Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z, Zoomers. That's more or less the last 50 years, 50, 60 years.
Isn't it
Indeed.
pretty recent to give names to generations?
Just makes it for easily insulting people. Why are millennials killing the name-making industry or whatever?
Why are they killing the diamond industry?
Yeah, but in medieval times there was no names for generations, I think.
I mean, if you go
That's because they
early,
didn't care back then.
if you go earlier than baby boomers, you don't either. Fascinating about diamonds. I actually read up on the other day. The whole, if when you get married, you should buy an engagement ring for your fiance that is two times your monthly salary to prove that you can afford to look after her. This is all very traditional. Bollocks, is it? It was a De Beers campaign in 1954. They made it up. And they said you should buy your fiance an engagement ring worth at least a month's salary. And it was so popular. The next year they ran the campaign again and said 2 months' salary. So
Just to see what they can get away with.
and it's brand new and it's completely made up. I assumed it was traditional and went back hundreds of years, but it's not. They made it up to sell more diamonds because there was a slump in the market.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, of course.
Well, it resonates well with culture, so it seems plausible that it would be.
Well, my wife wears 3 rings.
Weren't there some
Are they only
kind
worth
of
2 months' salary or?
No, none of them worth that much. Bloody hell, that'd be insane.
Yes, that's the other thing is money up. You'll then begin to where you have to be able to lose an awful lot of money if you do lose that ring.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shaq, what were you saying?
I think at some point there was some kind of tradition where the man would pay the woman's family some kind of money.
Dowry.
Then that. No, that's what's
Yeah.
called in English.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was phased out in the equality. So kind of if the wedding ring comes to replace that, then maybe you could make an argument that that tradition can be continuous with the rings.
I don't know. Well, De Beers just wanted to sell diamonds rather than being traditional. I don't know when dowries went out because you still get dowry. Certainly in India, dowries are still a thing.
Oh.
I don't know in the UK though if when or I don't know if we've ever had dowries or when they went out of fashion.
Yeah, like
Don't know.
aren't all traditions based on some random ridiculous thing that happened at some
Well, all
point?
traditions that are just people going, you know what, that's quite good. Let's do it again.
You
Yeah.
have to start somewhere.
Okay,
And then it
boomer.
becomes traditional.
That's what I do
Okay,
like.
so-
We mentioned this that we've got all of human history's had huge gaps in it right up until about 1997, and suddenly everything is recorded. So that's when we actually have the moment that OK Boomer entered the lexicon, stuff like that. Like we actually can see it and find
I mean-
where it happened.
In like 20 years, it might be okay, Zoomer.
Well, yeah, that's what I say to my nephew. I just say, okay, Zoomer. Like, I literally do. I've had people say, okay, Boomer to me. I'm like, dude, I'm like 20 years too young for that. What the fuck?
There are
Yeah,
some
people don't really-
technologies that were lost. Not all history is kept.
Oh, yeah, that's my point. But in the last, 25 years, we've kept almost everything because we have digital.
Logging.
With digital.
Stagnated. No.
Is there a way to change your perspective, like shoulder-wise, on this?
Don't know. But yeah, we lost the famous one, of course, is the Library of Alexandria. We lost loads and loads and loads of manuscripts that are completely irreplaceable. As we all know this for a fact. It's not true. There's just no such thing as irreplaceable manuscripts. Didn't have a backup. They were all backed up elsewhere. We lost almost nothing, but it's more dramatic to say we lost it all.
I mean, now how humans are.
Alexandria burned for cloud.
Sorry, what was that, Shaka?
The motivation to burn down Alexandria was to make a name for the burner, I think.
Well,
I don't even know what I died to.
was his name Guy Fawkes? Because that's the only person I can think of who's famous for burning something. Or trying to. I don't know who it was.
I think not. And I might be mixing up with Greece temple stuff, but one of the punishments was that his name was to be expunged from the history books.
Ah. Well, it worked. Or you're wrong, and it didn't work.
Well, I'm not propagating the name.
Let's call him Bernie McBurnface.
In a sense, if somebody wants to find out, I wouldn't be against that he would be successful in the quest. But I wouldn't spread it around.
Alexa, who burned down the Library of Alexandria?
Here's something I found on the way. According to hnet.org, the Library of Alexandria had suffered losses during the reign of Cleopatra VII in a fire that was started by the troops of Julius Caesar.
There we go.
Huh.
So, are you sure you're not thinking of... See, the thing is, Guy Fawkes tried to blow up the House of Parliament, failed, and now every year we have this massive celebration to celebrate his failure to get rid of the government that we all hate. I have no idea what's going on with the UK.
No, you added that last bit.
I think our government is at an all-time lowest approval rating, and it's never been... Well, certainly not in my life, it hasn't been very good.
But that's not the reason for the celebration.
We celebrate that he failed.
Which is what you added on.
What do we?
No, we celebrate Guy Fawkes trying to destroy the House of Parliament, blow them up. That's it.
We celebrate
whether or not you hate the government is irrelevant to the celebration.
Yeah, we're celebrating him failing. We're not celebrating that he had a go at it.
Yeah, but you might like the government in 10 years. Or
yeah,
whatever.
but
that's not the point of the celebration. That's
yeah, but
relevant.
no. What I meant was we continue to celebrate this despite the fact that not many people are in favour of what our governments have done for quite a long time. Like, our approval rating is very low, and yet we celebrate someone who failed to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
Well, you said it's celebrate, but I would call it remembering.
If you've not been to the UK over bonfire night, we go nuts for it. We don't do that much for Halloween, but for bonfire
It's basically
night,
our 4th of July.
Yeah, the world lights up like anything.
We don't need a Freedom Day because, hey, we are free.
Yeah, that's one of the points.
I don't know where we actually rank on the freedom index. I know, like, America's something.
Freedom index? What? Wow.
Yeah, you can rate freedoms. I mean, America's something see like 17th. It's nowhere near number one.
Yeah.
But they're the land of the free.
The land of the gerrymandering and the voter suppression and the racism. Yeah.
And the Great Invasion.
Say the potato.
And the land of the potato as well. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I guess they're technically free to be racist, but that's not necessarily a good thing.
Well, that's one of the philosophical discussions.
Yeah.
Is it should you tolerate intolerance? Or if you don't tolerate intolerance, are you then being intolerant?
Definitely.
I guess that was part of the point about remembering hard to remember things. So, like, if a tsunami happens, or like this crazy stuff like Krakatoa, all kinds of crazy geological stuff has been happening. The people that witness it it's going to sound like a really crazy story, and it has a like high error rate when told forward.
Yes.
But there's a challenge of keeping track of very wild events.
Yes, because they will exaggerate.
Well, exaggerate, but also they can't make up. Like it's so wild that they can't like comprehend what is happening. And part of the point was that we have Doctor Who in the British Isles being made. And part of the point of that, I think, is that there is a story about Daleks, which have a constant attack war against everybody who is not a Dalek. And like infusing fear of Daleks in young British people can make them like resistant against fascist ideologies. Which one could argue it could come in handy in times like these.
I'd like to point out the whole people got scared of Daleks and hid behind the sofa thing has been somewhat exaggerated. Incidentally, I did learn something interesting about Doctor Who. Initially, it was supposed to be a historical program. The future episodes were there to teach you about science, and the past episodes were there to teach you about history. I did not know.
And it's also at its lowest ratings ever at the moment. But we don't worry about that.
Is it?
Doctor Who.
Yeah. Nobody's liking Jodie Whittaker. And,
I like Jodie Whittaker.
And thingy. Chris Chibnall.
Who's Chris Chibnall?
He's the writer.
Oh. To be fair, well, I can tell you what will happen. We'll get the next Doctor in a year or 2 years, and everyone will go, "Oh, I don't like the new one. I like Jodie Whittaker so much better." It's happened with every Doctor for the last 15 years. Don't like this one.
Yeah,
the last one was way
as bad
better.
as this one, though.
Really? Really? Because everyone absolutely hated everything Moffat did with what's his face, and then before then, and I just don't listen. It's still one of the best sci-fi shows out there.
I mean, as a person who's watched it since the revival, I'm definitely not enjoying any of the newer stuff. Like Capaldi's, like last season onwards, I'm not enjoying any of it.
Hey Draycraft, I'm doing well, thank you. Hope you're okay yourself. One thing I did like about this season of Doctor Who is it's all set up near me. So you know the episode, the first one of the Jodie Whittaker with the cranes,
the tooth guy,
the cranes in Sheffield. Yeah, I go past those quite a lot. I was just amused. I'm like, oh yeah. And I did like the way they made a special thing to make sure they introduced a character with dyspraxia. I made a big thing about it and then promptly forgot about it for every other episode ever. It's like, oh good, and he's overcome it, and we'll never mention it again.
See, and again, I feel like these latest ones have just been too preachy at you, too like in your face of, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Just like, yes, the show has always had like a political undertone, but it's always been sort of included with the story, not the story is included with the political undertone.
I have to say I'm quite way behind, so I can't comment on anything particularly new.
Yeah.
How much seasons are there of Doctor Who?
Oh my god.
A lot.
How many?
How long is a piece of string?
There's
Yeah, right.
15 seasons of the remaster.
How did we fail?
But after
The revival,
Capaldi,
yeah.
how many do we have?
Yeah, the thing you have to bear in mind is old Doctor Who was not like modern television. Old Doctor Who was like, some of the episodes were 6 to 8 weeks long. And oh my god, the padding is unbelievable. You'd have 20 minutes of the Doctor doing various different experiments with chemicals to work out which thing to do. Because they were desperate to find a cheap way to pad the episode out. They were...
Really, you've never watched anime?
No, I'm well aware of the extremely famous... I'm going to go for C with Matt. I am very aware of the extremely famous, was it episode 20 of Evangelion? Where they ran out of money. They knew they had the big climax coming up 2 episodes later. So a lot of the episode basically has no frames in it. They're standing still, in an elevator, and you can just see the tick of the floors going past, and that's all that animates for a long time. Yeah, Doctor Who is still going.
They're between seasons at the moment, right?
They're just
kind of, yeah. Yeah, no, kind of. They definitely are. Yeah, I mean, Jodie Whittaker's leaving after this season as well, apparently.
She was great in Attack the Block as well.
She was in that, wasn't she? Yeah.
She was.
Same with matey from Star Wars.
Matey
Can't remember
from
his name.
Star Wars.
Can't remember his name.
The black man. What is his name?
Yes, that.
Matey,
Yeah,
Matey.
essentially.
Matey boy.
Oscar
There's a
Isaac.
lot of,
No, not Oscar Isaac.
Damn it! I was hoping you could agree.
No,
John Boyega.
that's the Badger.
It's don't call him a badger. That's racist.
they're not black and white, surely.
Speciest.
You telling me we can't be? No.
Definitely can't.
Oh, in this country you can't because we don't have free speech in this country.
Doctor Who is wonky in that it's very light pop skiffy, but then it has great macro plots sometimes.
It does. It does.
So what does Badger mean out of interest? I'm
No-
confused now.
nothing. It's just...
Just saying everything's racist because
Basically,
it makes you
if
laugh.
someone isn't white on this channel and someone describes them, I will almost always come back with that's racist. Pretty much no matter what you've said. It is considered racist to call someone an Oreo. What's the opposite of an Oreo? I've forgotten now.
Custard cream?
A white chocolate Oreo.
Brilliant. Yeah, so an Oreo
No,
is someone who is black on the
a
outside
roll.
but white on the inside, and it can be an insult within the black community when someone is being too white. And then there's a similar insult for someone who is white but acting black.
That'd be a roll, wouldn't it?
What's too white? Is it listening to Eminem and Post Malone? Is that what? Like,
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Netflix has a lot of comedy specials
And a
on
bloody
there,
bird shooting with his eyeball.
and you do end up watching some bizarre black racist comedians going, if you were white and doing this about black people, this would get off the air. Like, it's weird, but it's okay. And I've watched
Oh, the
something.
one that Chris Rock's going about
Chris-
the N-word.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of
There's
it's
black
like,
people and then there's N-word, you know.
no, the thing is,
Oh.
it's stuff. No, it's stuff like, oh, you know, white people, they, you know, mayonnaise. What's with that? All right, I'm fairly sure black people eat mayonnaise. Secondly, that's literal racism. What you've just said. You know, thirdly, it's not funny either. But
No.
if I was to go on about black people eating fried chicken in a comedy skit, that would be considered racist, and rightly so. Also a bit weird,
Because white people eat.
but that's
they
that's
even-
not the
where-
point. But they
where did they even originate? The
black
chicken
people,
thing? I don't-
Africa.
Yeah,
Oh, have I never mentioned this before, Brett?
I don't know.
So Izzard, who has been on the stream a number of times, his wife is Nigerian. She spent a lot of time in America.
Eddie Izzard, I was like, oh.
Not Eddie Izzard, no, the other one. So his wife spent a lot of time in America. So she's more American than African, but she's African. She's not African American. She is African. And she was over here, and we were in KFC, and she's like, "Look at me, I'm eating fried chicken," and we're like, "Yes."
What?
No, look, I'm eating fried chicken, nom, 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 nom. And we're like, right. It's like, no, I'm black, and I'm eating fried chicken. And I'm like, okay, we have no idea what you're talking about. But in America, you say, and not in the UK, black people, they love watermelon and fried chicken. And I'm like, she said to me, I'm like, who doesn't love fried chicken? I don't understand. And she's like, black people only eat fried chicken. I'm like, well, that's not true. You'd all look like fucking Fat Albert in that case. So it's a bizarre racial stereotype that we literally don't have over here. And I'm like, I don't understand the stereotype. I vaguely understand the black bike stole my bike because all black people are criminals and therefore blah 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 blah. But not black people who like fried chicken and watermelon. I'm like, do they? Like, it's a weird one, but we don't have it. We don't. We don't have quite the institutionalized racism against black people that the US has, which is just insane. Some of the stuff that happens over there.
There's weird history about the watermelons.
Go for it.
I am losing my memory, but at some point the watermelons were like good method for people to get into the economical game. So newly freed people would financially establish them with watermelon selling.
I did not
That
know
would
that.
form the association.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. And also why we don't have it. I'm not sure about the fried chicken. I suspect that's just the where they are, because you know, Louisiana and Kentucky and all those sort of places.
I have to get this out of my head. Are they cracking too much jokes about crackers?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, see, the thing is, that would be a racist term, and that's kind of the point. But it's okay to use that one, and I'm like, either we can just agree that
Is it?
racist terms are not okay, or they are okay, and just be done with it, rather than.
Is it racist if you use something like that fried chicken thing, where the country that you're using the racist term in doesn't understand it?
Well, that was why we just looked at it. We're like, we don't know what you're going on about. We understand that
Yeah.
you think this is funny, and you've lost us.
Yeah. But it wouldn't be overtly racist if nobody knew it was overtly racist. Is what I'm saying.
It it just crashed. Just
just
banged
went offline.
straight. I just crashed straight out. Well, this is the point about context. Racism is the state of believing something about a group of people based on their appearance or ethnicity.
Rather than unfounded.
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing. If I believe that, so as far as I know, black people don't make very good swimmers because of bone density, but they do make very good sprinters due to twitch fibers. But if I were to say black people are good sprinters, that's still racist. It doesn't need to be unfounded or negative, which is fascinating as a. I mean, if I say all black people are darker than white people, I'm definitely just stating a fact there. But yeah,
Well, the word racist or like prejudice isn't necessarily a negative term. It's just it tends to be.
Yes, I mean, I could think you guys are all brilliant, and because you're in my group here, so I'm prejudiced towards you.
I'm not.
Favourably.
Okay, everyone except Doc.
Yeah, today.
Okay, I will rejoin you.
Oh, wait, what? Oh.
Part of the reason for that asymmetry on racism is that the social groups that have power, their discrimination is much more powerful than powerless groups. So powerless groups get a lot more leeway on aggression.
Yeah.
I think the most interesting. Oh, sorry.
No, after you, please.
I was going to say, I think the most interesting part to me about this is that race isn't actually a defined thing. It's quite arbitrary, really, and like there's like a lot of
It's a
in
line
between
on a
areas.
piece of paper.
Yeah, like it's like how I think it was Americans used to consider Irish people as bad as black people.
Oh no, worse.
And,
Irish people were lower
Yeah.
than black people. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
for no actual reason. But
I don't know
Oh, they're the
why.
nabbies, aren't they?
Well, yeah, I don't know
Well, I
why.
mean, they're Irish, aren't they? You know, what do you expect? It's fine, I'm allowed to say I'm part Irish.
And why racism is bad can be
why am I
quite
dropping
tricky.
70 frames? What's happening?
I mean, I will honestly say, if you guys have never hung around South Africans, you don't know what institutionalized racism is. I used to work with South Africa, lovely bloke, and we had his boss was a black lady, and he said, you know, he was a clever bloke. He wasn't an idiot, and he said he found it so hard to take orders from a black woman because in South Africa he was a posh white bloke. The black people were the help. They were the staff. They most certainly weren't in charge of anything, and that's proper institutionalized racism. And he had to. His boss was black. He was in England. He didn't get to say, I'm not going to do what she tells me. Yeah, he said he just struggled so hard with dealing with this. And South African humour, it's bizarre. Like, he's on a South African joke mailing list. And he'd laugh at the jokes. I was like, tell me the joke. So he translated from Afrikaans, and the punchline would be something like, your wife had sex with him and he was black. That's the whole punchline. I'm like, well, and what? That's just it. The bloke was black. Yeah, he was black. Right. Oh man, this just doesn't translate. But yeah, South Africa, massive racism one way or the other. Black people not hating white people not hating blacks, Mugabe taking all the farms away from the white people, giving them to the black people who didn't have any experience running farms. So then they had a massive food crisis, and then he had to take all the farms back and give them back to the white farmers, and just, yeah, it's never visit New York, never visit South Africa.
Good job, I don't have any plans to.
Just watch District 9 and just pretend that
Yeah,
all of
literally.
the prawns are black people, and you'll get a pretty good idea of what it's like. Fat in prawns. Damn, that was a good film.
In prawn.
If you've not seen District 9, it's a slow burn, very slow burn sci-fi film. Very well done, and it's slow burn, but when it finally catches fire, it goes off with such a boom. It's such a good film.
It's awesome.
The reason why distinctions are harmful because you pick up some element that you think you can divide people into groups, and then think that they must be essential groups. It's easier to see with more less distinct features, like thinking that blue-eyed people would be different or left-handed people would be different.
To be fair, you can divide people into groups, but not by skin, race, colour, sex, and that sort of thing. It's
can do, but
we've just automatically divided ourselves into a group of gamers, for example.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what you like.
You can. I mean, obviously, I could be a white gamer or a black gamer or a white woman or a black
female,
woman.
Whatever. That's the point. It's not the point.
So, I found this. I mean, I joined a bunch of card groups when I moved up here. So, I've got a couple of fairly unusual cars. So I joined a bunch of card groups, and I went along to various meets, and I discovered quite quickly that just because I drive the same car as someone does not mean I have anything in common with them whatsoever. So some of them are nice. Some of them I'm like, I'm going to have to leave this group because this guy, like one guy, any chance he get, he would just going on about paedophile Muslim grooming gangs.
God.
Any chance he got, and it's just like, yeah, dude, there was one in Birmingham 15 years ago. Like, stop making out like.
Oh, they're calling the news, yeah.
Yeah, and they want Sharia law, and I'm like, dude, is this just a daily? Are you just literally just reading off the front page of the Daily Mail here? Like, just stop, just please. Be racist in your own groups, not in the the Subaru group, because most of us aren't. As I said, I don't understand people who don't have Facebook. How do you know which of your relatives are racist without it?
Yeah.
Like one guy, a guy I met through the arcade. I unfollowed him on Facebook after it was a pro-black Facebook group, and the meme was, "What's better than a black woman?" And his response was, "A white woman." I'm like, right, unfollow right now. Oh my god, you know that your entire friends list has just seen you do this. I have.
I think I've had any similar stuff with Facebook actually. Yeah, I'm sure there's been a couple. There always is.
What was the? I mentioned this. A friend of mine's sister. I mentioned this about why is the vaccine called Lucifer? Was it Lucifer?
You mentioned this on stream actually.
Yeah, and she was going on about that, and everyone's like, and like Baylor was just going,
"Like a crazy person."
You're embarrassing me. There's no the devil made the vaccine. Like, what are you talking about? And if the devil's much more likely to not make a vaccine than to, if you're going to argue, the devil's much more likely to come up with COVID than the vaccine. Yeah. Like, what the fuck? And yeah, and she said 90% of people who've taken the vaccine have developed protein spikes in their bodies, and people are like, 80% of people taking the vaccine have died. I think the news. Oh, the government are covering it up. The government are covering up 80% of people dying. Wow.
That's 12 million people.
12, yeah. But this is the government that can barely do anything because they can't even hold a press conference at the right time, let alone covering up 80%.
The government I wouldn't trust to organise a piss up in a brewery.
But this is the best bit. Her argument is that the government knows that 80% of people are dying from this and are continuing to administer the vaccine. I'm like, you must have just let COVID run its course at that point.
Oh, saved at 1 point of hell. Help! I need some healing.
I'm not.
These are idiots.
Jesus.
I hate people.
Well, that's fair.
You can't hate them all. You can't hate them all.
Well, he hasn't met them all yet.
Can try.
Yeah.
If I hate them before I meet them, then it gives me time to learn to like them.
That's called racism.
No, not if you hate everybody equally.
Yeah, that's human.
So I'm not discriminating against a certain group of people, I'm discriminating against everyone.
What's that, you humanist? That's something else.
Speciesist.
A humophobe. What? Yeah,
I hate gibbons.
It should be homoist, shouldn't it? Not homophobe.
It's this, is it?
A homoist, it sounds like you're really into being homosexual, though, rather than being very much against it.
I saw an article the other day about it. There were some countries that believed the vaccine would make you homosexual.
I mean, they also believe that vaccines give you autism, but, here we are.
Why would the government want to turn their whole population homosexual? Like, that's not good for you.
To kill them off.
But no, makes you homosexual, not kills homosexuals.
Yeah, that would kill your entire population.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it absolutely would. So why would a government give out that? That would be a terrible idea for your government.
One of the bad thing about the vaccine thing is that points autism as being a negative trait.
I'm gonna get off this tree. I'll come get him.
Did you just snipe me again, Brett?
Jacob, there's a brilliant photo of the needle used for vaccinations and the needle used to chip animals. It's worth finding it because
A big bloody
it's a
difference, surely.
big needle to put the microchip in. And like,
But bear in mind, it's not going to be that big compared to a human, though. That's the daft thing.
no, but I mean is if
Compared to a
you
dog, it's big-ish.
yeah, but no. So if you were being vaccinated with something putting a microchip in, you'd fucking know it. There's no like,
Oh, yeah.
this would just be a little prick. It's oh my god, he's boring a hole in me. What's going on?
Yeah.
Why have I suddenly got a hole in my arm? Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean, you'd be bleeding like fuck.
Jaycroft, do you not have a dog or a cat that's been chipped? You can feel it. It's not a subtle thing. It doesn't dissolve into your bloodstream. And the argument that we've come up with a new chip that we're using for vaccines and we're not selling rich dog and cat owners for an extra 50 quid is this is what I said.
Yeah.
So I've seen, big pharma has a cure for cancer and they won't show it because you make more money treating the disease in the patient. I'm like, really? So you're telling me there's a cure for cancer? We know what it is. We're not giving it to people because there's money. And you're telling me China aren't selling it at half the price because they absolutely would.
And you're telling me that people like Jeff Bezos aren't dying because they can afford this shit.
Yeah.
Microchips in the animals don't need to be clandestine. I don't think that's far-fetched that you would use nanochips if you want to actually clandestinely chip people.
I am always curious how much people like that actually put into like stuff to make them live longer. Like, I wonder if Jeff Bezos is like investing in that.
Well,
Of course he is.
Of course, yeah, I would too.
Because A, it's a profitable business eventually if it does ever work, and B,
Oh yeah, it's like the
adds
ultimate
benefits to
profitable
him for him being able to live forever.
Terry Pratchett's first book, Strata, dealt with this. About they figured out a way to make you live forever, and the currency was days. So all currency was one currency, which was days. Every day that you bought gave you an extra day of life.
That was the
But you could earn
one
far.
with.
Yeah.
There was a movie about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, Just in Time or something
yes.
like that.
Yeah, with who was it? Who's the main character?
No. It wasn't called Just. No, it had Justin Timberlake in it.
Justin Timberlake. That's the one. Yeah.
It wasn't called Just in Time, unfortunately. Yes, good film. Complete fucking nonsense. The whole bit were like, sorry, you go to work and you lose money at you'd be dead a few weeks ago. But yeah. But yeah, the idea was that basically once humanity invented the way that you could extend life, all other businesses just disappeared because it was the only one left of any real note.
The problem with that is as well, you start to get overpopulation.
Well, yeah, but I mean currently, babies are a right, not a privilege. Currently, I suspect we will see eugenics within my lifetime because, or we need to populate Mars very quickly, and it won't be
Well,
eugenics deciding whether or not you people can breed, and I suspect we'll see that within my lifetime. Or we need to seriously sort out the population problem. You know, we will, but
I mean, isn't population like birth rates
COVID helping
as
with that, by the way?
quality of life goes up though?
a little bit. Well, in theory, yes, but mostly COVID is killing people off outside of the breeding pool anyway, so not massively.
yeah, like I'm not imagining many 80-year-olds are giving birth at the moment.
Overpopulation, which is it's everybody, not just people
Yes,
that
but
can be able to make babies.
if you're killing off people who have already made the babies, it has nowhere near the same effects if you're killing off people who haven't made babies yet. But I mean, essentially, if you
That's also to a total population number.
yeah, the BBC is interesting if you look at the Have Your Say, because every time they do a climate change article, we need to all stop eating meat article, over the years, more and more of the highly rated comments have gone away from, we need to stop eating meat and sort out our carbon footprints to, we need to have less babies. I will be very curious to see when a government first tries to sort of begin, because if you remember, Labour introduced a thing where if you have more than 2 children, this is not retroactive, if you have more than 2 children, the government will no longer pay for stuff for the 3rd child and onwards. That was a huge outcry. I'm like, well, I don't think we really need 3 kids. I think we're doing okay on the whole population front. And that wasn't even, you can't have any kids, we're not supporting it. It was, if you decide to have more than 2 children, we aren't supporting the 3rd one. So the outcry when this, comes to a head, because we have to reduce the population growth, one day, whether it's tomorrow or 100 years hence. We do have a finite space. But
Unfortunately, I know about that in Finland you can't legally change gender unless you are infertile, which like makes reproduction capability of otherwise fine humans be removed for non-medical reasons, which kinda is already happening. But that's kinda embarrassing.
I say it will be a death knell for the first government that supports it, I'm sure. But as time goes on, that will be, you know, where the world goes. Or we need to expand into other planets much, much quicker than we are. One of the two.
To be fair, I can sort of understand why the government said we're not supporting the third child, because it shouldn't be the government's job to support your child if you're the one that's making it to begin with.
The problem was, people were going, well, I don't need a job, I have like 8 kids. You know, because I just get all this money from the government for having children.
Yeah.
You know, so why should I bother doing any work?
Yeah, it's
That's
quite. To be fair, that is quite rare. I mean, we are talking about a very small percentage of the UK's population. It's not a rife thing. The problem is, let's just.
Worthing.
It's still. You're not talking about 10%. You're talking about 1/10%. That's my point.
To be honest, I think you'd be surprised by the number of people I see on Tinder that it's like, I'm a full-time mum.
Well, yeah.
That's their only personality trait.
But the problem is, let's just say for sake of argument that we agree on the concept of limiting the population control. Sure. All right. You know, so we're not going to end up running out of resources.
Yeah. See, I disagree.
Well, what's the solution then? What's your solution?
My solution?
Yes. We're running out.
Stop fucking farming shit like mad.
But we only have a finite amount of resources in the world. We can only support a finite number of people, not an infinite number.
What number is that though?
Let's say it's 10 billion for the sake of argument. 10 billion.
But is there a number though?
Of course there is. We only have a finite amount of space to grow food in. There is a number.
You still haven't said there's a. Nobody's actually done and said there's no. No one's actually done the maths and gone, you know what, this can only hold this number.
It doesn't matter. Let's say
what number is it?
Let's say
Come on, you can't say there's a limit.
No, listen. Let me answer. Doesn't matter. Let's say the number is a trillion.
Well, then the question doesn't matter.
Then let's say the answer is a trillion, or 10 trillion, or 100 trillion, or a quadrillion. It doesn't matter what the number is. What matters is there is a number. Doesn't matter what it is.
What? So, oh my god, the limit's nowhere near us. We should. Like,
sure. The number.
Okay. The speed limit's 70 miles an hour. You're doing 10 miles an hour. You need to stop now. No. Because you might crash.
No. Because.
That's what it sounds like.
Because this is an exponential growth. If we've 1 million people today.
It's not exponential, surely.
It is exponential.
If it's 1 million people today, then it is Then it is 1.5 million people in 16 years. So half the everyone has sex. Every pair has one person. You know. But there is a finite number.
Surely.
It's a finite number, and the population growth is above 1. We will run out of resources at some point. If it is 1 year away or 1 million years away, it doesn't matter.
I tell you, not a man of faith.
No. Wait. This is just pure and simple facts. So what is the solution?
Facts now.
Max, we have a finite amount of space on the Earth to grow food. You agree with that, right?
Yeah, but the point is there is space that we're not using.
Right, but it is a finite amount of space. It cannot support an infinite number of people.
The point is that you're saying the way you talk about it as if there's no space at all to grow more food.
No. There is more space. Yeah, let's.
But can they grow food though?
No, it doesn't matter.
No,
yes, they can.
They can be repurposed.
Yes, they can. Let's use every desert in the world. Let's use every inch of the ocean. We can support 1 trillion people or 10 trillion. What happens when the next person is born? What happens when we have run out of room? What happens when we have used 100% of the available space at 100% efficiency? What do we do then?
Well, Marco Inaros would put farms in Jupiter.
Yeah, then we have to expand. That's one option. If we can expand faster, then we can have babies. Exponential growth kind of nobbles that. We have to. We can do Mars, maybe the Moon. We're struggling with anything else. But we have a finite amount of space on the Earth. We can only support a finite number of people on the Earth. You argue we can support an infinite number of people with a finite resource. Max, is that what you're saying? We can somehow support an infinite number of people?
Don't know what I think now. You're confusing matters.
If you have... Let's just assume the Earth is 1 acre big. 1 acre grows enough food for 10 people. Yeah? or whatever. Doesn't matter. It's 10 people.
The,
so if
the
you
problem is, one of
Yeah.
the problems we're having is the fact that we are growing enough food to feed everyone.
Yeah,
The
sure.
problem is that it's not
Today-
getting to everyone who needs to eat it.
No.
It's getting thrown in the bin. We're
Sure.
wasting
So-
food.
so
we're doing stupid stuff. You
if
know.
we use
So
every,
again, say
if
we
we
can
use
use
every,
100% of
Yeah.
food.
what
Look at
happens?
America, for example.
Does-
They eat way too much food. They're all obese over there.
And what
Look
happens
at
when we
India,
use
for example.
100%
People are starving
of
to
the food?
death.
So we develop perfect delivery systems, 100% efficiency, and we use every square inch of the Earth's surface and water. It can sustain a finite number of people. There is no more Earth left. There is no more resources left. What do you do then? The birth rate will continue to go up if you allow people to have sex willy-nilly.
Well, developed countries
Licensing?
are struggling with birth rate, so
I mean,
it
you
might
can't
not
stop-
actually be a problem.
I mean, you can't stop crime. You know, people get raped
What?
and things, but you can't say, "Oh, right, you must have an abortion." You know.
Well, you can. That's my point.
Well,
You
really
absolutely
can't.
can. You
In
can't.
China, you can because they're a bit.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, there's my. So you can
but
do
over
it.
here,
Then. In this country, you
you
can't.
can, but you wouldn't. You
At the
wouldn't.
moment, yes, I completely agree. That's my point. At some point, we're either going to have to cull the birth rate, or what's the other option? Well, run out of food and starve. There's the other option. There are no other options. Well, the third option is to expand off the Earth quicker, which only works until basically we fill up the solar system because everything else is too far away. And even then, that doesn't solve the issue. The Earth is still being overpopulated.
Well, there's the PvP option of the elites gaining levels round
PvP
against the
option.
poor people.
Well, this is the problem I have. I am not against the concept of saying to people, we are going to control the population as opposed to just do what you like, we don't care. I cannot see a way that does not favour the rich and powerful, however. A lottery, a system where we do tests to see the possible genetic makeup of your babies. Every system I can possibly think of can be abused. But you can't do nothing. Doing nothing leads to billions of people starving to death every year,
As opposed to now,
where we have not billions of people starving to death every year.
only millions of people starve to death.
Yeah.
That's acceptable.
Well, it's not, I didn't. I'm not vaunting an opinion of what we have currently being good. I'm saying I believe within my lifetime we will have to take this issue. But you Max, you're saying it's not a problem.
Max, I think that,
I don't understand
that
that.
I think that you need to rebalance the current food waste.
mean, yeah,
issue.
like-
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to
We
keep
do, but
throwing
that's
food
not going
away,
to happen though, because
No.
like
Even if
are
we
we going
assume
back to the Giddy Park, by the way?
not unless we need to. Does only got level up?
Okay.
not yet.
Don't know.
I'm never late.
Maybe.
But assume that we do solve those issues, and we have 100% efficiency on food, and we use every inch of the Earth. Then we can
Still
take.
finite.
It's still finite. And if let's say that's a trillion people, for sake of argument, a trillion people, whatever. In 16 years, that's 1.5 trillion people. That's 500 billion people, and there's not enough food anymore. Yeah, Kohaka, I said I suspect it will happen. I suspect it will happen badly. I suspect it will happen when we have a major famine or something, and suddenly our food production drops below, and rich people are literally starving because there is physically not enough food to go around. People won't bring you the food to the supermarkets. They'd steal it. And hopefully it's not within my lifetime. That would be nice, but I suspect it will be because we are already quite close in some places.
Yeah, I will say, Max, that I think there is a difference between a lot of people that are starving now. Is that's more of a wealth distribution kind of thing rather than a of resources? Because if there is,
The country has the resources. The point is the people at the top are just like, I'm having all
Yeah,
the resources.
pretty much.
Yeah,
You know.
a lot of
And I
Africa.
think if all those people had been were able to get food, then maybe it'd make the problem worse. Because then you'd be like, well, once your basic needs are met, you can basically think about other things, and having kids might be one of them. And you'd be like, right, let's have
yes.
babies, you know. Because that's one of the problems in the poor countries is you have a lot of children because most of them are likely to not make it through their first or second birthday.
And there's the other thing you do for having a load of kids in a poor country is because if they do survive to adulthood, they can go to work or do work or whatever, and then you know
Contribute to the society. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Or, yeah.
contribute to your
contribute
family.
to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
not so much just society. They don't care about the society; they care about themselves, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But I mean-
it's been,
Where we are in the UK, we are quite lucky. We don't suffer from this at the moment. But I mean,
Oh, damn it.
Just looking at the housing market over the last 20 years, it's incredible. We aren't burning anywhere near enough houses, let alone food and stuff.
And they aren't affordable.
And they are. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
they're,
my God,
they're
no.
trying to build them, but they're building in the wrong bloody places.
Well, as I mentioned before the last election, that's not true. So the Tory government promised, what was it, 1.3 million affordable houses, and they built.
Well,
Does anyone want to guess, apart from Max, who I told? Does anyone want to guess how many affordable houses the Tory government built?
10.
About 50,000, wasn't it, or something?
Lower than that, Henry.
2, 1,
0. They didn't build any. They literally didn't. They just completely failed on their campaign promise. So that's
my
where
head.
we're at. So we just can't
Okay.
house it. But yeah, so we aren't even managing to sort out houses, which is a lot less important than things like food or the number of people we've got. The interesting thing is, of course, if the UK, let's say we had half the population for sake of argument, we'd probably have a lot better quality of life. Right? We are stretching a lot of things very thin, and we are continuing to build houses. I mean, I grew up in super duper rural Cornwall, not so much anymore. New houses everywhere. Usually goes to rich people who want to get away from the busy cities and all that. But if we can't do that, I can't imagine we will address such a delicate issue as actually you can't have 12 kids anymore. We're not going to allow you.
China did try a one baby policy.
Yeah, but
It was
unfortunately,
pretty ugly.
yeah, unfortunately,
But
China
they did
has.
something.
Well, yes, China unfortunately has the very, very strong male first child stuff. So in China, they would rather kill a girl if she was born first, than rather than have a girl. So they would either kill her or just abandon her. So it doesn't
Sweet
count.
children.
Yes, that was unfortunately the Chinese government not really looking forwards with their own culture. We don't
Yeah,
have
they
that one.
stopped it. But they did try something.
Yeah.
And it's unsure whether that ugliness is less or more than what would come with food wars or whatever we have ahead of us.
Well, at least those abandoned children would have gone to an adoption home and hopefully grown up
At
to become...
least. No.
No. What?
I think you're thinking very highly of
Well-
the Chinese if you think that's what's going to happen to them.
Well, the Chinese...
There's a child on the street, nice pair of breasts, nobody owns it, really poor, ripe for abuse, all I can say.
Well,
Absolutely ripe
yeah,
for
I
abuse.
mean, certainly, Lithuania is one that, Romania is one I know a little bit more about, because a similar thing happened there, and there are all these children's homes just full of children. But eventually, they will grow up to become adults and hopefully become productive members of society, one hopes. Is that better or worse than starving to death along with your whole family at age 5? I don't know. It's pretty bleak all round.
Welcome to the Positive Channel.
Well,
Give it a like and subscribe.
we are...
I mean, it's an interesting topic. I don't know.
I mean, the problem is, it's a bit like when we discussed COVID. We're like, okay, cool. So what's the solution? I don't get me wrong. I don't think anyone's going to be happy about not being able to have as many children as they like. But if the
How would you enforce that anyway?
well, this is the thing. The thing is, you said you can't stop people having babies. Oh, yes, you
Yeah.
fucking can. We don't.
Right.
That's not the same as
But how
can.
would
have
you?
done.
No, I'm saying how would you enforce it?
Um,
You can't, I don't see how you'd enforce it.
forced vasectomies on every male
Medical
at age
test.
16.
Yeah. What's the other thing you can do?
It's hard to conceal a pregnancy.
Not
Yes,
not
but
castration,
these days,
but
everyone's staying
Chemical
home,
castration.
so-
Yeah.
You know what could be happening is them offering people money to get themselves castrated. if
They
need
did
be.
that to like drug abusers or something, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, chemical castration is a thing. But maybe that I'm just suggesting. I'm not saying that's the way, but that is a way. Every single male child at the age of puberty gets not castrated, vasectomy.
Yeah.
Look, and that could be redone when you earn the license or whatever, or you're picked in the lottery or whatever the.
Yeah, or you've earned enough money to have a financial stable or this lot.
Yeah,
And
I mean that's the thing. So if you were to say, what's the best way of doing this? Obviously, one of the requirements would be you can afford to bring up the child, and at that point, it suddenly becomes not quite a rich man's game, but it means if you're poor, you aren't in it, and that is very disturbing. And I don't.
Yeah.
see, I personally am for that in a way because like I wouldn't want to have my child suffer not being able to like afford things and grow up in a good house and all this lot. if you know what I mean.
Have you ever, and I'll phrase this, have you ever hung around a lady in her early 40s who hasn't had children? Because there is a very strong biological drive. So different people have different. Some people don't.
Oh, yeah.
Some people, that's all they want. There's a reason we have the crazy cat lady meme, and it is that biological drive going, I must have children. I must. So in some people, that they don't care. I mean, you know, you've got the American pro-life. They're very, very pro-birth, but not very pro-good quality of life afterwards. And it's that, you know, they want that part, even if it's not going to be a great quality of life.
There is a big history that mental health patients have been involuntarily castrated or been tricked into being castrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, again, unsubstantiated, but probably true from the Ugg-Hears. They are sterilizing all the women. And then other people said, no, it's just one woman, and she has something wrong with her. And other people going, no, it's happening a lot. I wouldn't be surprised, but I would be saddened if that was what was going on.
This team are terrible at respawning. Healing. Oh, here we go, finally.
Sorry, I'm not on a I haven't done my challenge. Right?
No, not you.
Oh, I can swap. Yeah, I can swap.
The team's quite bad at healing. Or going, someone just dropped down, like, literally inches behind me, I'll go and get them.
Reese, do you remember Gemma, my cousin?
What? Lee's? No, not
Lee's sister.
Lee's sister. Yeah.
The one that has the black and white dog. She's no, the Dids.
The black and white dog.
Oh.
What kind of dog?
The black and white one.
I don't remember. I don't remember the breed, but
Black and white breed.
she's 40 like today, and she's not like had kids or is in any relationship like 10 years or something. And she doesn't give a shit.
My sister's very anti having kids, and my auntie, who's in her 90s, I think, desperately wanting kids but never could. And when those two get together, it's a fucking it's horrible. I don't want kids. She's like, I would like to kids, but never got them. You know.
I do like kids. The best thing I like about them is giving them back at the end of the day when they get grumpy.
I like kids. Best dips and sauce.
I sound wrong in the wrong context. I like to give the children back.
When I'm done with them.
Put them back in their mother.
Isn't that pretty standard grandparent statement?
Yes, absolutely, yes. I have an adopted niece and nephew, and I love them to bits, and they are very well behaved around me, except sometimes when they get a little bit grumpy, and then I'm like, I'm gonna give you back now.
Are you the cool video game uncle?
I am the cool video game uncle. I joke.
The cool computer game uncle. Let's get this right here.
Oh, that's a good point actually. Well, earlier when I had them over last, they just literally just took turns in the motion chair. Like they just played Forza non-stop. I unlocked so much stuff. It was great.
Amazing. Have you told them you've got 100% Fortnite win rate? They'd be well impressed.
Oh, when I played with them, you say. But yeah, no, I have to hand on heart. That's gone. That is no longer true, because we got bumped up to another bracket. We're like, oh my god, these guys are suddenly really, really, really good. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Turing was the guy that cracked the Enigma machine. Alan Turing.
I thought you were going to say Fortnite.
No, he was instrumental. Very, very, very clever bloke. Homosexual and ousted by it. It was criminal back then. Chemically castrated. The guy that almost literally turned the course of the war, and all the government could care about was where he stuck his knob. Welcome to this. Was it?
Have you watched The Imitation Game?
Oh,
no, I haven't.
It's a film about Turing, played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Who?
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Is that how you pronounce it?
Doctor Strange.
Benedict
that guy.
Bindley that Cumberband.
Yes, that guy.
Get it right.
Bindlebatch Cumbersnund. Yeah.
Cumbersnund.
Why'd that move?
I think Turing died pretty young, eating a poisoned apple, which was probably a suicide.
That's Snow White you're thinking of, I think.
Yeah.
I actually have no idea how he died.
I wonder if he had lived like a decade more, we could have like more fun toys. But no.
Oh, what, like massive dildos? Or I see.
Someone's got my spaceship. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Bletchley Park's actually quite near me. Oh, bugger, I've been sniped. So Bletchley Park's quite near me, and they have a lot of stuff towards, the things that he did and things. And he was Hawking level of genius. Oh, crashed again.
Wow.
Yeah, this game is very unstable. Like, I literally just got a Reddit pop up on my computer, and it like tabbed me out for like 20 years.
Yeah, I can't use I can't use any other applications while I'm running this game for whatever reason. If I tab into Discord just freezes.
Just checking there hasn't been an update to my video card drivers.
I gotta go do the dishes in a minute anyway, so.
The twice a week job.
Yeah.
Turing died at 41. Imagine how much less Fortress Craft we would have if DJ was left that early.
I'm not 41 yet.
No. You're
just
3B, aren't you?
3B.
Yeah.
How old was I when I shipped Fortress Craft? I don't know. What I should know. It was just over 10 years ago now. Just under 10 years ago. Oh. How close are you guys to winning or losing? Is it worth joining? Should I just sit in Giddy Park?
Pretty close to winning, I think.
There's like 2.5 minutes left.
Okay, I should just sit in Giddy Park. Oh, those animations are glorious. It's 10 years. 10 years in April.
10 years of what? Sorry.
In April.
Yeah, of what? What?
Since first Fortress
since
Craft
first
released.
Fortress, yeah.
Oh wow. Do you feel old yet?
I do.
You're only as old as the woman you feel, Brett.
Oh, okay.
How's your mum doing anyway?
Well, does that mean Reese is 0 years old?
What? Well, I don't know. I don't think that's the phrase, unless you're not feeling anyone, in which case he's 0. Or you're saying that
He's either feeling children or he's
Yeah,
never
next
felt
level.
a woman.
yeah.
Take your pick.
I'm back in Giddy Park promoting my characters. Oh, yes.
What's good about them though?
What's good about what? Sorry.
What women?
The characters. You said you're promoting them. What's good about them?
Well, I now get a kinetic shield.
Buy my things. Buy my nightclub.
Buy your nightclub. I'm not buying your nightclub. I've got my
Yeah,
own.
buy your characters. Buy your nightclub, yeah.
Okay. I've now reached. Okay, I've nearly hit elite.
Oh, damn, it just took out the tree and us 3 acorns.
Now you have to win. If you die because I'm not healing, I'm going to feel bad.
Will you though?
Well, are you dying?
Yes.
No, maybe. Yes. I'm
yeah.
a zombie,
We've
so
been testing.
I don't feel bad.
Street's kind of butchering us at the moment.
trees
I'm
are
being
kind of
butchered.
hurting us. Other butchers.
Not the trees.
Well, the not doing the team isn't he getting the other people up. So
Incidentally, has anyone been following the impeachment stuff? As far as I can tell, there's no chance this ever happening because nowhere near enough people. Like,
enough on these is against him and against his side, isn't it?
but like, have you
Look,
heard?
Democrats won't impeach Democrats. I'm like, why not?
Yeah, have you heard the latest though? The people who stormed the Capitol, they were Republican voters.
Heroes.
But the reason they were acting strange, seriously, the reason this was from one of the fucking Senate. The reason they were acting strange is that women in Antifa had put drugs in their vagina and then had sex with them before the storming. So they were
Oh,
on the
of
influence
course.
of drugs. And
Obviously.
it's
What?
like, what the hell? What?
How could we miss this, guys? Come on, that's an obvious thing that happens.
Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I could just about vaguely understand people think the Earth is flat. You look out, it's flat, fine. But Antifa infiltrated and caused it by women putting drugs up their vaginas to make people act crazy.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't. I
can't believe we missed this the first time around.
Yeah.
But this isn't
Well,
someone
that's-
messing around. This is someone super high up. I've forgotten who it was. It's not Mitch McConnell, but it's someone in that sort of
Echelon.
echelon. Good word, echelon. Yes, and it's just like.
How come it's not a stalemate?
Because we stopped them from pushing all the way to our thing.
The sad thing is that Americans might be expected to believe that kind of thing.
Yes. I'm not sure that's how it works, Gohaka, I'm afraid.
Ah, you got on there.
Did you win?
No, Breck's
did.
got on there. Breck got on there.
Some bricks.
I'm going to exit the giddy pants so I could upgrade my character.
Yes.
And now I'm going to quit the game because I need to go do the dishes.
Do you know what we should get, Doc?
But this time of night,
A dishwasher.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand why you want to do dishes at this time of night, though. I always do it before I come on the stream.
Because just effort.
Eat your dinner, do the washing up.
J-Craft,
Yeah.
we try and educate people in this stream about a little bit of everything. Sometimes we don't know everything. Sometimes we talk about physics and black holes and the beginning of the universe, and then we're like, I don't really understand all this quantum stuff because there's 8 directions. But we know a little bit. We know a bit about words, and we try and be entertaining and educational.
Surely 9, isn't it?
I can't remember, like isn't it like up, down, left, right, and then it's like
You
strawberry,
got spin.
vanilla.
That exit. No, I didn't.
You got spin
Then you got
as well.
forward and backwards through time.
Right back.
Yeah, and
Quantum.
observing it means that it changes its spin or something.
Yeah, see, we don't.
Gotta love
know.
quarks.
Yeah,
It's not,
especially ones with bad teeth.
it's not the best. It's not the best bar in the universe.
Nah, that's
The only
Mars.
bar. Well, they do Rector Gina, it's fine.
The library episode of Doctor Who is so good.
That is a
The
good
library
episode.
one. What, the one with the Vashtanarada?
Vastanerada, yeah.
Yeah.
At least for 3 reasons. Nastaverada is quite cool. Then there's the introduction of River Song. Doctor helps River Song. And then there's the counterpart scene when later he gives out
Oh, yeah. The with Capaldi
and
in the
that's how
very end.
it ends
Yeah.
up mirroring it and fitting in the canon.
I don't think I've seen it. I've seen the first. Is there a second library one that ties up to it?
This was David Tennant.
I have seen that one.
The shadows that eat people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Put
Now-
out the lights.
Now that would be fun. The game we played yesterday, only you're a shadow. Like you're literally moving along shadow. You have to blend in with shadows and then kill people without, so in dark areas. Oh, see, that would be an awesome mechanic.
It's quite a good game. Admittedly, it's only 5 players, but it's one where the monster's practically blind and relies on sound.
Which game's that?
Can't remember exactly. Let me see if I can try and find it.
I have invited you all into my session, by the way. Into my party. I mean, J-Craft. I did them. I mean, I stopped on Fortresscraft about 2 years ago. Fortresscraft Evolved, and I've been working on Fortresscraft 2 off and on. Fortresscraft Chapter 1, Patch 11 should be out in 2 weeks. 2 months, not 2 weeks. And this Friday will be the first of the Fortresscraft development streams, or the second Fortresscraft development streams this year. We are releasing the unreleased Patch 11 on PC. Be there.
The game I was on about is called In Silence.
And how much is it?
It's like £10 or something like that, I think.
I'm gonna grab a drink while you guys will work out how to join my party. I did send you all invites.
Yeah, I'm gonna go do the dishes anyway. I'll be back in a bit.
J-Craft, yes, I finished development on Fortresscraft like 2 years ago. It came out of early access like 5 years ago. So 5 years ago. No, back in a bit.
There are open community questions posed by DJ in the latest 40-minute dev stream. I made a 10-minute cut foundable on my YouTube channel. Welcome. The questions are: do you want more Fortresscraft? Do you want an unreleasable game now? And do you want Fortresscraft Chapter 1? Hit up thumbs up on this video. You can go easy on the cat videos. Maybe give them a thumbs down. Or consider what videos you have thumbed up in the YouTubes. What does it tell about you? Would you like to be the kind of person that thumbs up this video?
Please thumbs up this video. If there's 4 of us, we can go and do another small garden ops. Incidentally, whilst I mentioned about eugenics in my lifetime, I'm kind of interested to see what happens. In the same way, I have been kind of interested to see how the world will deal with a global pandemic. And disappointingly, I think is the overwhelming feeling. So I don't think we're going to suddenly get better at managing. I mean, that's something quite small. We ask you not to go out and lick people for a couple of weeks, and people can't even do that. So something that's major.
Well, because not everyone can. People have to go to the hospital to do work. People have to go to nursing homes to do work, and some people have to go and sweep the streets and collect the bins.
But that's
Can't stay home.
Yeah, but that's not really what's causing it, though. I mean, I saw
Really?
a treasure chest of it. Well, as I said, there was a I'm on an escorts group, so it is for the last ride of someone. So if they die and they're a motorbiker, they will sometimes they'll organise like a convoy of motorbikes to go past. I'm on that group, and there was one quite recently. A guy died of COVID, and they said, you can't come in. You come to the procession, but you can't come into the actual funeral service itself because of the COVID restrictions. Oh, fine, yeah. Then he says, but you can all come back to our house afterwards for tea and biscuits. And I'm like, dude,
No, you can't.
like, well, you can. That's the problem. You can absolutely go around someone's house and get away with it. And I'm like, but I didn't say anything. But I'm just like, yeah, this your family member literally died of it, and that still wasn't enough to make you realise. That's the problem. It's not the critical path that's the issue. It's the people going around to see their mates' houses or meeting up off Tinder. It's all of the. How about water is fatal?
Keep your face mask on. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, I guess that's true. Yes.
I mean, I have to wear my face mask when I go to work. Even though whether there's people in or not, I have to sit and have a face mask on, which is bloody annoying.
Yes, but I say if everyone.
Because the rule was, if you're sat at your desk, and our desks are quite far apart, but we didn't need to wear face masks, and now they've changed it so you have to wear face masks all the damn time.
But yeah, if everyone had done it properly to start with, we wouldn't be in this position. And it's now I feel like we are. The teachers are very angry at us, and every time they're like, "If you keep talking, we're going to stay behind longer." I'm like, I haven't said anything, but everybody else has.
Yes, I mean, my mate of mine predicted maybe a lockdown 2 and 3, and I'm like, no, it's not going to get that bad. Fucking has.
Yeah.
Bloody hell!
Well, it shouldn't
But
have
he
been.
obviously knows people.
Well, the thing is, the government kept saying stuff like, "Oh, we're going to rely on the common sense of people." I'm like, oh god.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That's never going to happen. Where's this treasure chest got to?
It's just someone collected it.
Oh.
Not me though. I didn't see it.
Yeah, this way. I've still got this quest to complete. Open a boss chest. I might have to Google that.
Go for it. While we're waiting for Brett and Henry.
Okay.
I'm trying to join.
Oh, you have an hourglass. Where's
joining.
Brett gone? Brett. He said I'd be right back.
Ah.
Well, he said he'd be right back rather than he said I'd be right back.
Not any person. Use Citron's Peel Shield or All Stars Dummy Shield to protect yourself from enemies. What?
Well, that's a different challenge.
No, they're just saying that you have to use something to shield you while you open it. But the chest looks like weekly event boss turf takeover. Yeah. It's just
I'm lost.
this little chest. I'm confused. There is a tiny little chest. Oh, there we go. And that one is.
Why is it taking so long to load?
There's a bit with the better.
I don't know. Maybe if I kill myself, I'll just spawn back at the start.
The Greeks were big on that in order for democracy to work, the populace has to be informed and educated. So if you would actively educate people, then you maybe could rely on common sense.
Yeah, common sense. I'm afraid common sense lacking is not a new thing. Because I was quite senior in my roles at Criterion, I interviewed a lot of people, and the lack of common sense within graduates was unbelievable. Because we purposely would ask them impossible questions, so they would get, so we could see how they would react to it, how they would attack a problem, and you just get responses like, "Oh, I haven't been taught that." Oh, okay, but we're not asking. We're not asking you what you've been taught. I'm asking you to work out this problem from first principles. Use your common sense, and they were very bad about it. Interviews at the games industry, well, anywhere, but I did games industry interviews, showed a lot of lack of common sense. There's 4 of us, Brett, so we can do garden ops. I've invited you.
Okay, yeah. Is that what you just invited me to?
I have just invited you to it.
Okay.
So
I
if the answer was that I don't know or that the task is impossible, was that a good answer?
No, because if I said to you, one of the questions was, we're writing a jet ski game, you're doing the audio, what do you have to do? What do you have to worry about? What important things do you have to worry about as developing the audio for this game? You may answer the questions if you are a candidate, if you like.
Try now.
Go on.
Me answer that one.
You answer that one. You answer that question.
Audio quality. File size.
You have to think about how snow sounds. Maybe go ski and record some sounds.
I should point out a jet ski is not a skidoo. A jet ski is the thing that goes on water.
I kind of feel this incompetence on my calls sometimes recently. So I did a game jam a few weeks back, and I had another programmer on my team, and I didn't know how good or bad he'd be, and then halfway through, he sent me something like, "Brett, this isn't working. Help, please." And it was just some code he copied from some online tutorial, and it just didn't work. So he just sent it to me.
Stack Overflow?
Oh god.
So the answer I gave was, "Oh well, you've got an engine, and obviously when you're going along the water, you're jumping up the water. So when you go up in the air, the engine would have to rev, and you have a big splop as you come back in the water." That was a perfectly acceptable answer. One of the answers I got from a graduate was, "I don't know much about jet skis." I'm like, all right. They go on the water though, so you will have water sound effects. So I always try to prod people. And the other question was, you are developing a computer game on a console, and the console can only play one sound effects at once. And you are doing you've got the engine sound effect of the spaceship, but you also want to play an explosion. How do you do it? And one person just said it's impossible. I'm like, well, it's not. And he goes, no, that's impossible. I said, well, I can't go back to the designers and go, you think it's impossible, we're not doing the game. We have to do the game. It's impossible is never a question. We would ask them literal impossible questions to see how they would attack it. And one of them was brilliant. So in Burnout 3, one of the issues we have with the audio is that the cars get to full speed in about 3 seconds. So they go, ram, 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 and they go, because it's just there at full speed. And we said it got very boring. And now this was not a problem we had solved, and that's the important thing. And we said to them, how would you solve that? One side said, what I would do is I would have sound effects to distract the player from the engine noise. I'm like, okay, like what? He goes, like goats by the side of the road. But the point was, it didn't matter whether it wasn't a right or a wrong answer. That wasn't important. What was important is he had actually, he'd given an answer, and he'd thought about the and not just gone, don't know. Don't know is never a valid
was
answer.
It a Shepherd Risset tone?
Shepherd Risset tones was something we developed later on, yeah. So endlessly climbing things. That was awesome. And the other one we did was Infinite Gears. So the cars in Burnout 4, they change gear forever.
If you're in part of the team, isn't it adaptive to let the expert do the thing that he's good at, instead of doing a half-assed job yourself?
I'm not joining you.
So being able to know what you don't know can be adaptive.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, a lot of it was more about them. Well, to agree, them telling us
just trying,
just have a
go at solving solutions. I'll give you, for instance, my son, as the scout's got this little coding wheel, so actually alphabet on the inside of the wheel, another way off bit on the outside wheel. You know, line up A to A, and then you turn it a bit, and then whenever you get A, you get X, whatever, and you make little coded messages. I wrote a program to do it, and I got stuck because I can't remember. I got stuck between the char and ASCII, basically converting into the ASCII numbers and the character numbers. I didn't know which one I was using. I got a bit confused.
I don't know why I'm lagging.
It's good fun.
Good God, it's
I
really
don't know
bad.
that. Henry, you should just be able to join directly. You are in the party. Hey, Malcolm.
Yeah, but I'm still sort of loading. It's still the tips screen.
Yeah, mine always takes forever to load the first time, and then like lags for the first like 8 minutes of the gameplay, and then it's fine.
Yeah, Malcolm, that's an excellent answer. A lot of it was we tried a lot of things, none of them really worked. But we wanted to ask people impossible questions just so they could just see what they would say. Oh, we can't do that. Try this, try that. The other interesting one was the logic puzzles. I'll try to remember one of them. So you have 2 jars, and you have 50 black beans and 50 white beans. You can put the beans in any order, in any combination in either jar. Your job is to put the beans into the jar in such a way that if you close your eye and pick a random jar and a random bean, you maximize the chances that it is a white bean. Now, your immediate reaction is, that's not possible. It's always 50-50. It's not. Much higher than that. This is one of the logic puzzles we would give graduates. Anyone may weigh in with their first thoughts.
I think I know what kind of effect that uses.
Go on then.
Like the margin is different. Like it works but the same way that gerrymandering does.
Yes.
You
So
would think.
how do you? What is the answer?
You load one of them first. Put one of them first into the most recent one that you put in is the other one. One you want.
You distribute your 100 beans into the jars. You decide the distribution, and then somebody else closes their eyes, picks a jar at complete random, and picks a bean out. How do you maximise the chances of it being a white bean, and what are the odds?
Well, you put all the black beans in first, right?
What part of picking a random bean isn't sinking in here?
Well, yeah, but if they pick a random bean, they're still likely to pick one from the top, though, right?
No, it's random.
Okay, fair.
We are in ideal land.
Yeah.
They're actually doing random. Okay.
It's not a trick question, it's a math question.
It's the way it's
Hard to do
worded,
math
makes it
in the
sound
head.
tricks, yeah.
If 50-50 is not the best possible, it should be possible to improve upon the default setup.
Yes. Well, I mean, so if you put all 50 black beans in one jar and all 50 white beans in the other jar, what is your chance of picking a white bean?
50%.
Even.
50%.
Well,
many
it's
jars
either
there?
100% or 0% if you actually
No,
look at it.
if you pick 1,000 beans out, you'll get a white bean 50% of the time. You know, the average is 50%.
Yeah.
So if you put 25 white and 25 black in each jar, and then you pick them out, what's the odds?
Say that again.
If you put
Both are even, and then you get
25% or it's
total
75%?
even.
If you put 25 white and 25 black in each jar, and then close your eyes, randomly pick a jar and randomly pick a bean, what is the chance of being a white bean?
25 and 50.
Well, you can simplify
No.
it, innit? It's going to be...
It's not 25 and 50. Picking the jar is part of it.
Oh,
What?
okay.
That's part of the random. You pick a random bean from a random jar. So if it's 25 white and 25 black in each jar, what are the odds that you pick a white bean?
50-50, innit?
Thank you very much, Doc. Okay.
Yeah.
So is the answer 50%?
Yes.
No. No.
No, it would be 40. No, not 49.
No. Both the examples I gave were both 50%. But the point is, this is a logical deduction quiz. There is a right answer, but it's not important whether you get the answer or not. What was important in the interview was the process they used. So
That's how you got the answer.
yes, so I'll give you a clue, because I will give them a clue. Try min-maxing.
If I put one thing in the wrong place, does it improve or make things worse?
Well, what's the min-max option?
Well, the minimum is 25. The
No, minimum is 0.
No, sorry, the minimum is 0. Maximum is 25.
200. You can put 200 jar. You can put. Don't mind. You can put if it's 100 of each bean, you can put all 200 in one jar.
So,
But
so
okay. So
it's made in a row the same color, right?
well, it's random.
Well,
It's pure random. Just
yeah.
think of it as a memory access. Okay, but if you put all of the beans in one jar and nothing in the other jar, what's the odds of you getting a white bean? Assuming for a moment, if you pick the empty jar, you just have another go rather than going null pointer.
100%, no.
No,
Evens?
it's 50%.
50-50 still.
Because you have to put all of the beans
sorry, yeah.
in.
Being-
So if you were to min-max this problem, you can you can fill the jars however you like. You can put them all in one jar, equal in both, anything you like.
Gerrymandering works by preserving the victory, but spoiling it as much as you can.
You're so close.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
if you put 25 white beans in one jar,
Yeah.
and then put the rest mixed in the other jar?
Right. What's the odds?
Well, you're guaranteed to get a white bean if you get the one jar, but
Right.
not the other.
So you
I don't know what the odds are.
You
there.
have so you have a 50%.
So 100% chance on one side, and the other side is less than one.
Yeah. What you've just done is about a 65% chance. So you're getting there.
Oh.
You're so close. You're so close. You really are.
Put a lot of.
Ah,
That's it.
Gorhaka's got it. Put one white bean in one jar and all the other beans in the other jar. So one jar has a 100% chance of a bean, and you have minimized the effect on the other jar, and the chance on the other jar is slightly less than 50%. So the best answer to this is about 74.9%. But it's much better than the 50% you first think of. We use that one a lot,
Yeah.
and most people would get it with enough prompting, but it was mostly to see them solve problems. Some people already knew it, and at that point it was pointless to do.
What is the reason for that is to sort of teach them a bit about programming?
It's statistical, it's maths, so it's statistics.
Yeah.
As I learned at school, there are lies, damn lies, outright lies,
statistics.
and statistics. Yes. So that's the that's the thing.
Nice.
What your first thought is it must be 50-50.
Yeah.
But with some prodding, you're like, oh, it's not. And this is what's annoying about the whole of COVID. Like all
Because
of
it doesn't make
COVID.
sense, because why does it go from 25 white beans in one jar and one white bean in one jar? Go from 100% guaranteed to do something other than 100% guaranteed.
So that means if you pick the jar with one bean in it, it's 100%.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's got one. The other jar has almost a 50-50 split of beans.
Yeah.
So it's about 50%. So it's 50% on one jar, almost 50%, and 100% on the other, which gives you you split the difference on those. It's about 75 and a bit percent. 74 and a bit percent. So you either have a 50% chance of 100% or a 50% chance of 50%.
Yeah.
Nearly 50%. So therefore 75%.
So that's 25%. Yeah.
Oh, honestly, that only just clicked in my brain. I'm clearly not very awake right now.
Are you ever?
Oh! Pickle!
What? Where? When?
Get
What?
away
How?
from the bloody pickle. Who's the punk who's driving this thing?
The shield's OP.
Just keep shooting!
Oh. Dino thing on the other side.
You shot my rocket out of my face, out of the trajectory, while it's still going.
Oh, I saw this pop on my YouTube the other day, Adam. Do you see the thing that Valve are currently doing with their VR headsets, or they're planning to do?
Release a decent one? No, I don't know.
No, apparently they're planning to work with a some brain scanning company for their next VR headset, and have that as part of the VR headset.
And like 25 years.
Oh, like Elon Musk is going on about.
A friend of mine's wife does this for a living. She has done for about 20 years. I said you can pretty much train it if you think very hard. There are yes or left or right. The encephalogram can just about pick up what you're thinking, but you can't think attack the red thing or the blue orange. You have to go. You have to think left. I'm thinking left. I'm thinking left as much as I can. So yeah, we're a long way off that.
From what I can tell, it's less actually controlling it, and more they're trying to use it for developers to essentially track the state of the player, so that
So
they
horror
can use
games
that.
essentially.
That's one of the uses, yes. You'll be able to track their emotional response to it, essentially.
I think you're underestimating how good a game I can have by having to think the word left very hard. Have you played Hot Squat on your VR headset?
Have actually.
Yeah, Hot Squat is amazing. Jay Craft, you're very welcome. I'm glad that it's been entertaining for you. We've all learned a little something about maths and statistics and Brett squatting. But yeah, again,
It doesn't matter any. Oh, sorry.
we just have to think.
Have you seen
You
Hot
have to
Squat?
think squat, squat, stand.
Well, instead of actually squatting, you just
Yes,
think squat.
Just think it.
It's a mental workout instead of a physical one.
Hot Squat is brilliant. I did mention it. I got quite competitive with a much younger, more buff lad at the arcade, and I think I got to 55. He did like 75, and basically I squatted down, and I didn't have enough energy to stand back up. So I just stopped at 55. I just squatted down, and then slowly teetered over backwards as I lost my balance, without enough muscles to come back up again.
Wait, so did you see him playing this game at the beginning that one time or not?
Cannot say I did.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a hole in the wall
That's the
with the TV program, except you squat in VR.
Right.
So you can
Yeah,
just take the headset off and dunk it up and down.
No, because you've got to put your arms out in front of you. Because it tracks your arms too.
And like I said, it doesn't matter what Elon Musk is doing anyway. He's too busy being approached by Microsoft to build a Warthog from Halo. I want that to happen. If there's one man who can make it happen, Elon Musk.
Can we go back to the park quickly? I think I've hit level 10.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is enough of a meme lord to do it.
So yeah, did you guys see the news about them buying up? Was it $1.5 billion of Bitcoin?
Bitcoin, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you know why?
because they want to use it for their products.
It's not regulated,
That too.
so he's not going to get into trouble for doing it.
Smart.
Nice.
Mm.
I too wish I had that much to spend on something like this.
It is known as a pump and dump. You buy a product up, you go, wow, look, I bought loads of this product, you should too. Everybody else buys it, and then you sell it again.
I mean, if it works.
It does work. But,
Yeah, look at GameStop.
I think, if anything, what we should all have learned over the last
Few weeks,
month
yes.
or so is that the stock market needs a radical overhaul.
That the power of idiots on the internet can do anything.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not the issue. The issue is that if you,
No, it's not an issue. It's
Yeah.
just what we've also learned. If you get enough
There are
monkeys in the room,
alterations
they
to
will
take
start producing Shakespeare.
Jesus.
I played Perpetuum, so I know the political game when playing economy. And how
The hell is
misinformation on
possible?
others can be beneficial.
I think I did that wrong.
Adam, you said before you've been to like GDC and stuff. Have you ever presented at something like that?
I have done presentations in my time, not at GDC specifically, but I have. It's one of my
Okay.
presentations online if you want to watch it.
Hello and welcome to my TED Talk.
That I haven't done a TED Talk, but I could have. There's a brilliant TED Talk going, what happened if you could 3D print 100 times quicker? And basically the TED Talk is, we've invented resin printers. And you're like, oh yeah, I remember when those were new and...
And now we're 3D printing cars using aluminium.
Why not?
Yes.
Save all that billeting and all that sort of. Just print it very easily.
Is it billeting? I always assumed it was French and it was belaying, but I've never... I've
Yeah,
never
'cause
heard
billet
it's...
steel, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. Is it not
No.
belay steel?
Nah, it's billet.
Oh, okay.
Well, at least in...
Oh my game! What is happening?
Oi.
This is freezing.
Chassis. It's chassis.
Yeah.
But when I shoot
No, it's
someone
chassis.
when I shoot someone with a belay, that hurts them. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's chassis, not chassis.
It's just we chassis.
So it's sub-op.
I am a car.
Brexit has promoted his space cadet.
Sabo round.
Oh, is it over there? That's where it was. I was trying to find that.
Bro, I can't wait for us to
Crystal
actually
round.
like invent the UNSC.
It is.
Get out of there.
It is a Sabot round, isn't it?
Sabo.
Sabotage.
Wow, that's 3 different pronunciations we've
It's
just had in a
Sabo. Sabo round. 100%.
Well, if the shoes are Sabo, then it should be Sabo?
Oh, I didn't think about the shoes. Should be saboteur.
Yeah, sabotage.
They threw their shoes in the works,
Yeah.
literally.
Who can I promote?
Oh
What the hell is this
God,
game doing?
Look at the look at the.
66% CPU usage,
Yep.
but it's just spinning.
Oh wow.
Oh, it's got an in-memory thing at the start of the credits. Oh, that's a shame.
That yeah, Burnout 360
So you-
was in memory of Rabin Ezra. Most of the games I've worked on, I always listed Sifi and Ajax as the development babies. And Dora was
you-
listed on Beyond the Scale Sky, and the babies born during the development of the game. So she's one of the.
So you pronounce it Sabo, apparently.
Dude,
Sabo.
I wonder
As
how
in
many.
Saboteur. Oh, Max, you get to say it. You get to say, "I told you so."
At least that's what Google's telling me how you pronounce it.
Wow. Does Google know?
Yeah.
Can you boost characters on both sides, or you have to do the extra boost once?
You can do
Yeah,
the
you
boost
decide.
a bunch of times. Then it says you can't do it anymore today. I haven't tried doing it on this side yet.
Which side is it?
But Max, you get to
but-
say, "I told you so." You were totally right, and Doc was
Then
wrong.
you've got people saying it's Sabo.
No, but it's not a saboteur, is it?
Saboteur.
Hello, are you one of those saboteurs? Hello, sir. I got a message you from London.
Must be hard when you can't type out how it's said. Have to keep guessing.
How to pronounce Sabo or whatever it is, American English.
Yeah, the UK has one of the broadest set of accents. It really does.
Okay, here's one for you. So there's an Olympic swimmer. His surname, I'm going to spell it rather than say it because it will spoil it. His surname is spelled Laugher.
Obviously, we'd think laugher.
Yes, most people think Laugher. Apparently,
what's
the
that
way
word?
he says it is law. Sorry,
Maybe.
that's a bit of a stretch, but it,
Yeah.
it sort of almost fits within the remit
Fair
of
enough.
those. It's got the AUGH thing, which is just.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend, and his first name is TADGH.
Okay.
Touch.
Any more guesses?
Tag.
I'll give you a clue. It's not Tag.
Taj, like I said.
It's not Taj. That's I've got a Taj, and you can't see it.
Don't touch my tag.
Me and Reese had a friend in school whose name was spelled EWOUT.
Oh yeah. him.
EWOUT.
Yeah, how do you pronounce it?
You what?
No.
I mean, that's what most people would say,
Yeah.
but it was like AWOL.
No, if he said this there, I'd be like, you what? Right,
Yeah,
no,
'cause
no.
he's Dutch.
Echo.
No, just AWOL.
Hey, wow. Hey, wow. Nice. Anyway, my friend's name, I'll give you a clue, he's Irish.
Oh,
Oh,
fucking hell.
goodness sake.
Could be anything then.
Lee.
Just mangle the vowels and stick them in the valve
Jim.
mangler.
Thai was how you pronounce it.
Aye.
Yes, you
The
miss,
eyes
out,
have it.
you miss out the D. The DGH is pronounced I, apparently.
What about DJA?
Oh, the people that call me Dejarcus is insane. I'm like, dude, I capitalised the D and the A. Like, it's not Dejarcus.
Maybe you need an underscore in there.
Gamalga is not
Could
that
have tried
common.
to say it. Could have tried to say it.
Respect spaces.
It's not my fault I'm not allowed a space in a lot of these, though.
So my son's got to the stage where he starts trying to put grammar into file names. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Why not? I want to put a slash in there. You can't. It literally will break the operating system if you could.
That's fascinating. Notice this one. Do you know Sainsbury's, Waitrose, not Waitrose, sorry, Sainsbury's, Waterstones, Morrison's?
I'm assuming
Apostrophe
there are
S.
these,
No.
where are these shops?
They don't.
Or not.
They're all
It's
dropping
going to
them.
be.
So
all right.
What's that?
Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Marks and Spencer's, Waterstones, they're all dropping the apostrophe.
Oh,
Is it,
no.
because they're seen-
Wait.
is it because it's seen as too posh for the lower classes to shop there?
Well, Tesco
Because
is
of the
just
apostrophe.
Tesco.
So my first thought was wrong, but apparently they have been doing this for quite a long time. But obviously, if you go to morrisons.com, it's not morrison_s.com, it's morrisons.com.
Ah, but URLs can cope with funny characters.
TLRs, TLDs can't, I don't think.
But humans can't.
Also, is it a regular?
That's one of the really big selling points, at least I think, for Max. So you can have file names, all sorts of funny characters in them, and it just deals with it.
Well,
Yes.
you can do that. Well,
You
actually,
can't do it in Windows. Windows is like, no, you can't have exclamation mark there. Well, they've started letting you do that.
I mean,
They
this
stop you doing it for other things.
is something I noticed between the old hands and the young people in the games industry. I will call my file, explosy.wav. And then the young people will call the explosion space large space echo. And I'm like, .wav. I'm like, dot wave. And I'm like, you can't do that. It has to be 8.3. Like, getting over that 8.3 limit took a long time.
Yes. And unfortunately, some of the stuff I deal with still only lets you do 8.3. And what's even worse is if they're stupid, people are stupid enough, they'll actually throw in a non 8.3 file into a system, and it can cause problems. Well, it can't cope with it's possible to have the system, the RTOS, pick up a file that it thinks is valid to read and break the system because it's not a valid file.
Because, yeah, do you remember
mechanism is matching the first 8 characters. And it goes, alright, the first 8 characters must match, therefore that was the part of things I need to read. Like, no, it's not. Just stop it.
Now, I installed Ballistics recently, and I had to install some various doodahs because it is I think it was a FAT32. So it has some file names that are longer than 8.
Oh, we can't cope with it.
Well, it can sort of cope with it because it has a file name called ballisti-1.exe. Because you remember,
it's been shortened, yeah.
Yeah, because that's how they used to do it. Because then there was a lookup table. I'm like, oh, I'd forgotten about this utter horror.
Yeah, you can. It still does it in NTFS. You can show them in that method in NTFS. It's still doing that exact same thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was having to access the get copy of the game via an ISO extractor that didn't understand it. I'm like, oh my word. I did eventually do it.
7-zip. That looks at ISO. No,
No,
Windows
'cause-
10, you can just double click an ISO. And look
Yeah,
at it.
but I had to install it from the ISO. It was a nightmare. In the end, I've got it. I have popped it up that we should play Ballistics one evening.
Right.
Such a good game. But yeah, I had forgotten about, I guess 7.3, whatever you call it. The
8.3.
No, but the 6 letters
no.
and the underscore.
Yeah, tilde.
Underscore tilde. Yeah, it was only 5. And
Tilde.
then
Yeah,
underscore
6
tilde
letters.
number.
No, it wasn't well, it was tilde number.
Tilde
the
1.
last
Yeah,
two,
tilde
yeah.
1. That was it, yeah.
Tilde 1, 2, 3, whatever. So, yeah.
Does not that limit you to like 36 characters that started with the first 6?
Well, 36 to the power 6.
Yeah. But we actually... No, multiplied by.
Yeah, that's what I said, to the power of.
No, multiplied by, not the power of. The power of is, oh my god, trillions.
36, lots of 36 times lots of 36 times 36.
Yeah, no, you've got... No,
That's the power of.
No.
That's power 6.
What I mean is you can have the word fudge, and then you can have only 36 variants on fudge before you run out of room.
Right, and on that note, I'm going to dip into another channel. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Okay?
Take it easy.
Yeah.
You can have fudge tilde 1, fudge tilde 2, fudge tilde 3, up to 10, and then fudge tilde A, B, C, D, up to Z. And there's only 36. I mean, that'd be a bit weird. I don't know what DOS would do. I've
That's what Windows does.
Yeah. Well, I think Windows doesn't care because I suspect those file names are a lot
Well,
smarter.
it's all extracted, isn't it? But it is still in there as 8.3 if you tell it to show you.
But yeah, we did it run to an
I
issue.
wonder how they do it in NTFS and other, where you can have like all sorts of funny characters. Because traditionally, Windows has reserved exclamation mark, question mark, PRN, com, things like that.
Env.
As,
No, not
sorry?
env. What was it? Env? No, not env.
EOF, EOL,
No.
But yeah,
AOX. Sorry.
Orcs.
Yeah. Orcs.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they're reserved things. You couldn't use a star, for example, in a file name because that means wildcard.
well, you still can't.
Yeah, exactly. But I presume Max can.
Yeah, because I don't know if Max can use
you-
everything. Do they have their own set of forbidden rules?
I don't know.
Case sensitivity is kind of bodged on. As in,
Wait,
if you're.
this placeable thing restores your ammo.
Cool.
Which one?
This
Engineers.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Use it infinite ammo.
Yeah.
So now when you try a 4-person spaceship with that thing next to it with a healer, you just get infinite bullets and infinite health.
I did actually
Maybe.
run to an issue recently where someone committed something to subversion, and it was capitalized differently. So
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Subversion runs better essentially on Linux. It understands it. Windows doesn't. So I'm like, you had to go through the browser, the Subversion browser, and delete the variants. I'm like, there's no other way.
You're not switched to Git yet.
Oh god no! Oh god no! You can't use Git anyway. Git is a useless pile of wank that is only useful for very small projects from amateur developers, because Git has this interesting and completely pointless approach that you should be able to commit files when you're offline. So that means, yeah. So the problem with Git, you can't have large repositories. You can't. You have to start bodging it in with. Is it large?
How big does large?
The smallest of my games is 10 gigabytes. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. Because we were looking into Git for this project we're doing, and I'm like, we aren't using Git. But Git's so cool. It does this, and I can commit files when I'm offline. Like, dude, when the fuck are you offline? Like, when does this happen? Like,
but it's the idea that you can commit something, and then when you're online, it just automatically sends it. Oh bloody hell!
Not quite. No.
What do I do?
You have the repository. Well, you have the repository basically.
Yeah.
On.
But I'm like, okay, but is this something we're likely to need? Because if not, let's not. But Git doesn't cope with big files because of this. You end up with it bloating enormously.
Binaries.
Yeah, and then you have to start putting in... Oh, max down. Then you have to start putting in a hack to make it work. And I'm like, yeah, rather than just going with one that does this, let's just use one where... Let's just use one where it works. Subversion has its own issues. Subversion, one of the design requirements is safety. So you cannot delete a file, ever. You cannot even purge a file's history, which I massively disagree with, but you can't. There's no way to. So this means if you accidentally commit a 100 gigabyte file from into your SVN and then delete it, your SVN just got 100 gigs bigger for the rest of eternity. There's nothing you can do. And it's weird
Start a new one.
Well, that's the solution. You literally you copy it all to a new one and then don't have that file in there. Yeah. Given I can find posts going back almost 20 years on the Subversion forums going, can I have this? And then going, there's no need for it. You would never need this. Like, you've said there's no need for it so often. Just implement it, for heaven's sake. But yeah, Git is, it might be cool amongst all of the people writing Raspberry Pi applications. It's just not much cock for games.
Basically, what I'm hearing is I shouldn't really bother with Git. I've not actually really used it much, so.
The thing is, both Git and Subversion is the one I've used the most, and it's the one I hate the least. I hate it. I do hate it, but I hate it the least.
Right.
If you haven't used CVS or SourceSafe or Perforce, you have no idea what a bad version control system is. So
I remember hearing about SourceSafe when we were at Airtel.
Oh, well, I'll tell you about a story from Airtel. I broke our version control. So SourceSafe worked by having a front end that hid away the fact it was just writing out to files and folders on your network. But because of this, it wasn't a program accessing a database, it was a program writing to Samba shell. So I accidentally moved a folder around on the Samba shell. I accidentally dragged one folder inside another. I broke everybody's source control permanently. They had to restore it from a tape backup, and I'm like, I mean, I will admit it's my fault, but I don't think you should have let me do this. I'm like, oh, we can't stop you because we need to give everyone full access. I'm like, what? CVS was almost impossible for mere humans to use. It was the precursor of Git many moons ago. I mean, late 1900s, as the phrase goes. I was born in the late 1900s. How does that sound?
Yeah.
But yeah, Subversion and Git are both pretty good. Really, they are. And there are some awful ones out there. But yeah,
is that first one the one we've been using? The
Subversion
SVN?
is what we use.
Yeah.
What do you use for your large files then?
Subversion.
Or Subversion?
We use Perforce. So on Burnout, we used Perforce for the large files. What do we use for the code? What was the Code Warrior solution? That one. Code Warrior. Name. We went through a lot. The weird thing was when we got given Perforce, we got given it. We were all moving to Perforce on Monday, and I sort of went, "Are we going to get training?" Oh, just read the README file. I'm like, I feel somehow we should be given training on our version control software. I feel this is.
Yeah.
I feel very strongly we should be given some training on this. In fact.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm kind of concerned that in my course at uni they never really went over version control software, and I was like, why didn't you teach us this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've had to explain this to nearly every artist I work with, because they'll commit something, and I'm like, oh, can you tweet this? And they'll commit it as thing_new or thing_text. I'm like, just commit over, because all I have to do then is rename the file to the same as the old one. I'm like, you cannot, in Subversion, it is not possible to lose anything. The drawback is you do end up with quite a big repository, but you cannot lose anything.
I mean, some of that, I suppose, is business preference, I guess. So they can't teach it because they'd be like, well, I'll teach you how to do it, but it's not going to apply anywhere in case someone changes their mind or has a different mechanism or different way of working on it.
Yeah, I mean, you should be taught the basics of version control. You should be taught why you do version control. Like, if it's a personal project, after I've been on it for more than 10 minutes, I will create a repository for it. So if my computer crashes, or I go to another computer or any reason, it's there. And that's really important.
Yeah.
And good version control habits. Like, we actually fired a guy because he didn't commit for 6 weeks. And then his hard drive went down and he lost 6 weeks of work. He didn't even back it up on the network. Yeah, we literally got fired for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them.
So what do you mean?
That's pretty bad.
He lost the code and the person who wrote the code.
Well, yeah, but we'd lost a lot of time.
You'd already lost the code.
And you know that it wasn't the first thing he did wrong. To be fair, it wasn't. That was more of a, the straw that broke the camel's back. But
And nail on the coffin kind
that
of
was
thing, yeah.
That was the one.
Wouldn't you be the bad applicant that says that I was not trained for this?
That's a question, Adam. What's the worst thing anyone's done working on a game you've been working on?
What? Worst?
Like, what's the worst fuck up you've seen?
Oh, the worst. Oh god, I have a few. One of the worst things anyone did is we had we were brainstorming the next Burnout game, and one of the things was there are no bad ideas, and someone goes, and then it was brainstorming bad things. We had to brainstorm what was bad in a game, like no. And someone went rape, and we're like, right, we're not putting that on the board. We're also writing a racing game. What the fuck? So yeah, there are no wrong answers. There are no wrong suggestions. Yes, there are. That was one of them. It is memorable.
Should avoid. If your game contains rape by accident, you should probably remove it.
Yes. We did have one guy, and he synchronously opened a file in the middle of an update. So he'd open a file, read the contents of it, do something based on the contents of the file, and then close it. And it was only a little file, 5K or something. So, it's fine. But we kept on getting this little teeny tiny hiccup in the frame rate every time it happened. We didn't know why, because he just shoved it in the middle of a function. You never do anything synchronously like that. Until we made a build on a disc on a streaming game. And then the game would lock up for a full second and a half as it would do a layer transition from layer 1 to layer 2 of the DVD, find the file, seek the file, load the file, read the file, close the file. Then we worked out what it was. And it's like, what were you doing? Max, I think we've opened a boss chest. Maybe? I think I've got 1 circle and 2 padlocks.
Right.
Maybe. We'll see. I think, that didn't count as a boss. We keep getting...
I tried to exit to give you power, you didn't let me.
Oh, we're on the plant side now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, random thing. So when I went away a little while ago to get a drink and stuff, my family was also talking about like organising a birthday present for my dad, and my dad's like, he's turning 57 on Sunday, I think, which is fairly old, but he's really scared about it because his dad died at 57 of like a heart attack, and he's just like really terrified that's going to happen to him as well at the same age, which is, I guess, kind of an irrational fear, but oof.
Yeah.
So you're asking what he should be given for his birthday?
No, we sorted that out. I just thought it was interesting that he was worried about that, because it's not really a...
Get him a blood pressure monitor.
And an angiogram.
That's part of the reason I couldn't be bothered to get into professional racing. Is that my next step is I have to get an EKG and an ECG, and I'm like,
They're not that hard to get though.
Yeah, I know. And then
It's just laziness.
then it's a bunch of effort, and I have to go see the doctor, and they have to measure me. It's just so that they're quite sure you're not going to have a heart attack partway through a driving around a racetrack. One other thing, we had an issue on Rally Fusion that the game was taking a bit long to compile. So our lead programmer came in at the weekend. No one else was allowed to come in this weekend, and he rewrote the whole code base and committed it, then went home. And what he'd done, and if you're not familiar with C++, this will go over your head, but what he'd done is he put everything, all of the headers, into one header file to speed it up. In reality, we all came in the next morning, got latest, started to compile, and no one finished to compile by the time it was time to go home. It took over 8 hours to compile the code. Everyone went home. We didn't come back until Wednesday when he reverted it all.
Amazing.
Oh, yes.
Why do you think that was better? Or
With C++,
Is it?
so
Or-
have you done C++ at all?
a bit, not a huge amount.
So header files are a massive hack. So header files are basically defining something. If it's not defined, then including a bunch of stuff. And
Yeah.
essentially, it gets very, very slow. It's just accessing the disk repeatedly to reload the file, and compilers are extremely bad at this. So the idea was that we'd only load it in once, but he hadn't checked. Is the test your
yeah.
assumptions, as the old phrase goes.
Yeah.
Oh, many imps, right side.
And it's hard to test every assumption.
More importantly, Shaka, he didn't compile it even once, or he would have twigged quite quickly. This was a terrible
Yeah.
idea.
Who was the lead programmer?
Oh yes, it was
No,
the
it's
guy
supposed to be
in
the
charge.
sort of the head honcho who's leading the examples of code. And
Absolutely, yes.
how do they get to that position without, having a bit more shots than that?
Well, the thing is, if I describe to you exactly how it works, and I describe to you how the compiler works, and I describe to you what he did, your response would absolutely be, "Oh, that should work really well." Just didn't.
Yeah.
We just thought it would. We were about 45-minute compiles at that point. Prior, we were trying to speed that up. In the end, we came up what was
How
called.
How come it took days to revert it and you just go pull the old version back out again out of CVS and try again?
I mean, we were.
And how come we went, this is taking 8 hours to compile? Why wasn't that sort of like, okay, let's stop compiling and go back to the old thing, like an hour in or something?
Yeah, well, the idea was that after your first compile, it would be quicker. And that part was kind of true. After you'd done that 8 hours, it was kind of quicker. Until you had to touch a header
Imps.
file.
Okay.
And then not
Yeah.
so much. But yeah, definitely, this was the late 90s. Reverting several gigabytes of source control was not...
Yeah.
Days. Yeah.
We also had a burnout artist break the... I think it was Perforce. They committed the uncompressed intro sequence, which was... let's say 200 gigabytes. Again, this is the old days.
All the space is gone.
Yes, well, the way Perforce works is commits weren't atomic. So what happened is it filled up
What's
the hard
that mean?
drive. So an atomic commit means it's completely, it fails or it succeeds. There's no concept
binary.
of a partial failure. It is completely enclosed in its own thing, like an atom is completely enclosed.
Yeah.
So it's an atomic operation. It can't, like when I read a number from memory, I can't ever read half the number. I always read all of the number. Oh, 54 seconds to kill all the exclamation marks, by the way.
Okay.
An atom is not completely enclosed.
It is.
Oh.
It is in this guy. But Perforce wasn't atomic. So this meant he wrote
reverse.
200 gigabytes into the hard drive,
Get the exclamation mark
filled it up,
on top.
and then the
PvP.
machine just came to bits, just went to bits, because he filled up the whole hard drive. So we came in the
Yeah.
next day. As we all know, I'm sure you've all filled up a hard drive. Computers don't like that very much at all.
No.
So yeah, he broke it.
Tried filling up the hard drive and then doing nothing about it for about 8 months.
Honestly, it might be why my game's running slowly. I think I'm running out of disk space.
Now, running out of disk space doesn't really affect much. Running out of space, you can no longer write to the registry reliably. You think you're writing to it. Windows thinks he's writing to it. You're not. That's your real kill. That's usually what destroys PCs when you run out of hard drive space.
Should I uninstall that Burnout game we played the other night, or?
I did.
Hey, oh fuck me, it was just awful. Wanted, I'm happy to remember it was Wanted. I'm really happy with it. I just wish it had cops and robbers. Just doesn't.
Yeah, honestly, I actually preferred the Heat when I was playing it single player, but as soon as we went multiplayer, it just turned to shit.
Yeah. Oh, well, we still got Need for Speed, so next Sunday we'll play Need for Speed, which I
Is
think
that on Game Pass as well?
it's on Game Pass. It's a remaster of Need for Speed Underground, as far as I can tell. But Hot Pursuit, we can't play Hot Pursuit remastered on Game Pass, and we can't.
It's on Pro, right?
No, it's
I
not
don't know.
anywhere. So
Oh,
you can buy it, but then there's a new Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, just called Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. There's Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered, and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, which is a remastered one just with a terrible name. Thank you, Gino. There's gnomes in it too.
What natural philosophers called atoms, today scientists call elementary particles. Atom used to be unsplittable, but then we split the atom.
But an elementary
Yeah.
particle bomb just sounds boring.
Yeah. The atom as the undivisible unit is like a valid concept. It just turns out that atoms are not atoms.
Now we're getting deep into philosophy. Tar atoms. I remember at GCSE at school, one of the things we got told was atoms are so small, no one's ever seen one. I'm like, how do we know what they look like? And they're like, well, we have seen them. We can kind of deduce how it works, and it's a bit more complicated than this. But at this point, we're just going to assume they're too small to see. I was a curious
You can-
child.
honestly,
scatter
I've
of
played
light.
some
Yeah.
questions.
Very curious.
I remember doing the same to do with like black holes when I was in school. I was like, "Can you tell us more about this?" They're like, "No." They're just like these exist and they're scary, but we can't tell you much more than that because it's too complicated for us.
Are they scary?
Yes, they are.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're very
Very.
scary.
They suck.
Hey!
Hard.
I mean, they are scary because, I mean, there are theories that say that black holes will be the end of the universe. Because black holes suck in all matter nearby, and as they get more and more dense, they will affect things further and further away until we end up with just one big black hole that has all the matter in the universe in it.
Well, that's kind of rare
Maybe.
theory. And it's hard to fall into a black hole. It doesn't like actively suck. You end up orbiting around the black hole.
That's only if you're within a certain radius of it, right?
The event.
No,
Yeah.
you can.
Well,
You
it
can
But our
Right.
galaxy has a black hole, and it's not sucking up the galaxy into it.
well, it is just very
Yeah, 'cause-
slowly.
Yeah, that's what it mostly sucked things in when it formed, right? That's when most of the suction happens.
You can't.
Suction.
You can't outrun the universe square law. Every part of the universe affects every other particle in the universe, and a doubling of distance is a squaring. That's the square root of the action.
Well, here's a question though: is the universe moving apart faster than black holes can consume stuff in it?
Well,
Well,
given-
the moving apart is a bad way of conceptualizing it.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, assuming the universe lasts forever, eventually black holes will, because the black holes are exerting force in every particle in the universe. I mean, I'm talking about 100
Yeah,
billion.
but there is an even distribution of them. There's black holes everywhere, so they don't have any point where to collapse.
That
So,
assumes they are
yeah.
evenly distributed. If one of them is slightly bigger, everything will be moving towards that one.
Then we just
Yeah, but
opposite them.
to our best to our knowledge, the universe is smooth on the large scales. There's matter in every direction.
Yeah, in the large scale, yeah, but on the small scale, it's not. So therefore, it is on the large scale, but only to a finite number of decimal places, like 6 or something.
I guess. But deorbiting by emitting gravitational waves is really slow.
Yeah.
So the stars will die before things fall into black holes by orbiting.
Oh yeah. Well, and if you are unclear of what we're saying, it's very simple. Boot up Kerbal Space Program, build a spaceship, try and hit the sun. It's really hard.
really hard to what? Sorry.
Hit the sun.
Hit the sun.
Sorry, Kerbal. Kerbin.
incredible. Okay, yeah.
What's the name of the plat?
The star is Kerbal.
Kerbal.
Planet is Kerbin.
Kerbin, yeah. It's very hard to hit Kerbal. And you might think it's easy. It's the sun. It's really hard.
Jebayade is quite an easy target.
Sun is very far away.
It's not the distance.
Oh, it's not?
How do you hit a sun? How do you hit the sun? What do you do?
I guess it's like a gaseous state,
No. Well, assume it's solid, just so you don't think about that. How do you?
But do you blow that before you make contact?
How do you? No, that's your goal. Your goal is to hit the sun and die. How do you do it?
Right. I don't know.
Well, you can't fly at it
Why not?
because you'll miss.
Try, and you have to effectively do it.
Because you're already orbiting. Flying at it will just mean you'll overshoot past it, going faster than you're going.
Well, that's just a generalisation. If you wanted to fly at it, you would obviously choose to, make sense.
Well, if you have
a
really good
compensate
burn,
for that.
you could maybe hit it.
I mean, if you're orbiting it, why would you not hit it? Because you'd go off in a straight line.
This is what I mean about conceptually. You're thinking it's easy to hit it. It's really hard. So
everything's going round it.
Yes, but you're going round it. So to hit it, you have to stop going round, and that's the hard part. You have to bleed off almost all of your speed to hit it. I have done it. It's very difficult.
Well, either that, or you'd have to essentially account for the orbit you're orbiting in, right?
Yeah,
that is it.
In your like, trajectory.
Yeah. It is possible to slingshot off another body and hit it, but that's
also hard.
That's like hitting the moon with a sniper rifle from Jupiter. Yeah, it may well be easy to leave and hit another sun. Yes, it probably is.
It's connected to the thing that new Kerbal players are likely to point their rocket up and then wonder why they are not entering the orbit.
Yes.
When they are accelerating in the wrong direction. And it's not super intuitive until you get to the space concepts, why you need to accelerate in that direction.
There is that PvP Kerbal Space Program physics game, isn't there? I forgot what it's called. That might be interesting. I still think we should have done that. I still think we should have. Anyway, it is midnight, so we should probably stop. Just right, we do these every night. We don't always talk about eugenics,
killing all the people,
quantum mechanics, and the birth of the universe.
But talk about drugging and killing people, though.
But sometimes we do. What we do
Remember,
tomorrow?
killing people in sleep is wrong.
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
That's very important. Yeah.
What happens if people kill me in their sleep?
If you're sleepwalking and you kill someone, is that moral?
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, if you can prove, well, it's not. Well, it's the
If you can
Is it
prove
manslaughter?
that you were
It's manslaughter,
asleep, then you're clear.
You'll get away with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
At least reduce culpability, not full culpability. At
Do
least.
you,
I think that would be that the UK will call that diminished responsibility, which is basically wasn't your fault. Oh, that's a really. But it would be very. The important part there is the phrase you would have to prove you were sleepwalking. That's very difficult to prove.
yeah, I was
you
going to
can
say,
have
like,
doctors write notes for saying that you have this problem. And
Yes.
so that chap got away with murdering his wife in his sleep. He was really upset about it.
Well, as you would be.
But somehow, how he managed to do it is beyond him.
I guess the question is it manslaughter because you're not conscious? Because manslaughter, usually does that not imply you're conscious, even if it's accidental?
I think it would be accidental death. Like if I fell out of if I was cleaning a window, and I fell off and I landed on you and you died, it's not manslaughter because I didn't mean to do it. It's accident. It's death by misadventure. Because
and if you try to hypnotize yourself to murder someone, then it could probably be just ordinary murder, even if you're not conscious at the time you execute the thing. But if you try to deliberately hypnotize yourself to do something in your sleep, it would be fully culpable.
Yes.
Right, well, on that note, good night.
Okay, and what's tomorrow? Is it Transport Token on Wednesdays?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Wednesdays, yeah, transport.
Also,
you need to put some sort of character between them so you can see them outside of when they're at the title. You need to put some sort of character on the end.
It's very annoying. I think if you hover the mouse, you can see it. But you can double click on the title.
You can click it. You can click on the title as well.
Yeah. But we're going to hit
What
monorails. Monorails tomorrow is what we should
Monorails.
be getting onto. So that'd be awesome. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like this if you're watching it on YouTube. And we are streaming every day until we're allowed to go out and lick tramps, which is not going to be for a while. If you are only here for the Fortress Craft, I will be doing a Fortress Craft Dead stream on Friday daytime. So Fortress Craft Fridays are back. And it's all going to be very exciting.
Yay.
Or not. So thank you very much. And thank you once again to the Lockdown crew for putting up with me just ranting on gibberish. As ever, you're all wonderful and I love you to bits, except Doc, because he fucked off to wash dishes rather than play computer games. What's that about? See you tomorrow, guys.